the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited.
Don't wake me up. Midstream in a dream, don't touch, I've been taking up.
Shalom, shalom. Come on in. Hit the like button, brothers and sisters. Come on.
7 hands, 10 horns on the waters, raising up, praising up. I see crowds, flames and floors. Is it war at the door? I've been searching for it. I can't get it out of my
Come on in. We got a broadcast for you this evening. Praise the Most High.
This tempers upon my bed. The chase goes on and on. I'm not giving it up.
Come on, brothers and sisters. Never give up.
I'm not giving it up.
Come on.
I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. Hey, I'm not giving it up. Giving up. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I'm at the point understanding dreams are the real time. Please nobody wake me up. I try moving on, but my body is stuck. My conscience is raised, an angel pick me up. Awaken from this matrix. Looking down on the globe, blood dripping from his robe. I know he can fix this. I see a burning room and our people coming home. Can I please get a witness? Witness, I'm not coming down till I get this. These predictions can't be superstition. The decision being shown in the vision. I just ended. Yeah, I can't get it out of my head. Yeah, the stars are falling down. There's tempers upon my bed. The chase goes on and on.
Come on. Come on. Don't give up.
I'm not giving it up. Ooh, I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. No, I'm not giving it up. Giving up. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I can't stop these visions haunting me. It's not a dream. It's something lying between our dreams and reality. Called prophecy. Oh Lord, don't wake me up. I can't
Come on.
get it out of my head. Don't wake me up. Oh. The stars are falling down. There's tempers upon my bed. Don't wake me up. The chase goes on and on. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. Ooh, I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up. No, I'm not giving it up. Giving up. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving it up.
That's right, brothers and sisters. Don't give up. I'm Elder Rawchaa of the Gathering of Christ Church, here live with our weekly broadcast. Yeah. All praises be to the Most High, Ahaya. Do we have a great broadcast for you this evening? Of course, you might be wondering, why are we not at our main channel and all that? But It's okay. We'll use this for a week. You know how it goes, folks. You know how it goes when the Most High bring revelation on a Sabbath. That cannot be denied. When we drop, remember Lot's wife, the archaeology of what really happened and how things are shaping up now, and how they've actually put the perverted over our people to control the refunds that would do what? That would keep us under the thumb of the New World Order and under Satan's control. But you know what? It's okay. We're here right now. It doesn't matter. We're going to be here all week. And then next week, we'll be right back with A Gathering 144. So don't worry at all. We're not going nowhere as long as the Most High hedge us. All right. Let's make that clear first and foremost. And hey, before I go into this lesson, only the prepared will survive the horrors to come. Only the prepared will survive the horrors to come. Right? And hey, we're going to go into it this evening. And we're going to show you, last week we had Elder Rawchaa over in South America, getting the animals ready, farming, getting everything together so that we'll have some resources, even when they try to do what? Squeeze our people and try to force us against our will to get certain medical procedures or whatever the case might be. Because who knows, maybe one day it'll be, well, okay, in order for you to get some food conveniently in the supermarket, you got to mosey on over there and get fixed first. Well, Rawchaa, I spoke to him tonight, Elder Rawchaa. He's over there in South America. And guess what? We're going to have some food. And also, you're going to hear us talking about, talking more and more and bringing more details concerning that. And also, we're going to get volunteers who can work in the church, who can go out and farm and help do what need to get did. And I purposely destroyed that. That wasn't a grammatically correct sentence. Okay. I purposely did that. You know how we do it from down south. I was born in Lake Charles. Okay. Now, Lake Charles, Louisiana. But anyway, yes, on top of this, hey, only the prepared will survive. We have Elder Rawchaa and Elder Lawya in the house. Okay, let me set them up right. Just perfectly. Hold on. And I know a lot of you might be asking, man, what's going on with Elder Rawchaa? He seems happy. Only the prepared will survive the horror, and we're singing, I'm not giving it up. We're upbeat and ready. That's right. You know why? The elect of the Most High, brothers and sisters, were born for this moment. You know what? You know why I'm so happy, Elder Lawya? I'm going to tell you, Elder Lawya and Elder Rawchaa. I no longer have to convince anyone in this world that the Bible that we were talking about, that we've been teaching out for years, is true. There's no debating whether or not the Bible is true right now. You don't see anyone talking about the Quran or anything else. What's going on in the earth is of biblical proportion. So I'm motivated because the prophets long to see the day we're working in. And that's why Christ said, blessed are your eyes that you see and your ears that hear and understand what's going on. Okay? Why? Because the prophets and teachers and many great men long to see the day we're living in, the day of the coming of our Lord. You can let it get you down, or you can stand up and do something. Stand in Christ's light and oppose the evil. That's right, folks. And that's why I'm going into this. Hey, there's a lot of horrors coming. But brothers and sisters, the horror is for those who are sticking their head in the sand like ostriches and believing, because an ostrich sticks his head in the sand, and in that ostrich mind, he's hiding. Whole body out there. He's wide open for everything to attack him. And because his head is in the sand, he thinks he's hiding. He thinks it's safe. If I go along with the go along, no one can see me. Even though I'm sneaking and I know what the Bible is saying is true. I'm peeking around and I'm hearing just in case. But you know what? Just for the sake of getting along, let me stick my head in the sand. And that's right, the horrors. These are who the horrors will get. Those, instead of preparing in a time such as this, they're just going to have a cognitive dissonance and believe that everything is going to go on. Nothing is really happening. The earth didn't shut down 2 years ago. They didn't scare us, the majority of the earth. They were scared to the bejesus, if that's a name. People were crapping in their pants when everything was shut down and there was no jobs to go to. And people were going to, guess what? And now the news told people they can come back out, elders. And I'm going to tell you, now they're acting like that never happened. But folks, they are ramping this up, going up into election time. They are ramping this up. You're going to hear about the numbers and all types of stuff. And folks, I can't talk about it right here, but I'll go into it this Friday on Patreon. Hey, folks, they're ramping it up, and their whole focus is going to be high-level censorship. So we have to kick in now and prepare now for what's to come. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to go into the Bible in a moment. But first of all, let me give a round of applause to the elders in the house. Elder Rawchaa, we have Elder Rawchaa. How are you? And Elder Lawya, how are you?
I'm well. I'm blessed. Shalom.
Yeah. Speaking of preparedness. Elder Rawchaa has been doing a lot over there in Texas. Now, Elder Rawchaa was one of the original brothers who went abroad and traveled and helped us establish much work outside of the United States. Churches are all over the earth, and it wouldn't for some of these men here, it would not have been possible. The sacrifice with nothing in their pockets. Zero. Now, Elder Rawchaa, did the Most High keep us whole and protected?
Yes, sir. I mean, more than we can ask for.
And now it comes around full circle. Everything that was prophesied playing out right now. And we got now elders who was there from the beginning, who got gardens, land, animals, right? And can you tell the brothers and sisters, Rawchaa, and know that Elder Rawchaa, very talented composer and producer and rapper too, very talented. Rawchaa, can you let us know what you got over there in Texas? I'm about to show the people online in preparing for preparation.
Well, so I have some land. I have some acres of land, and we're just slowly preparing and transitioning ourselves for the times to come. A few things that we're trying to do is drill a shallow water well. We're already in the process of doing that. We have bees for honey and sugar and wax in case you need candles or in case you need sugar, which is also medicine. It's also going to be used as a business if things shut down. You understand, we're preparing to put some more food in the ground, dealing with greenhouses and things like that. I'm also building a shed for just many different things, food storage like canning and, personal things like my gym, you understand, the studio again. But but as far as preparing, that's the things that we're doing. We had to get a tractor because a lot of these things that you do sometimes, depending on how hard that ground is, we had to work hard and get a tractor to try to get some of this stuff done. We're working on eventually getting a pond to put some fish in. So I mean, we're always working. I mean, every time someone calls me, I mean, I'm working. I mean, I'm just, if this stuff happened tomorrow, I'm just trying to make sure that I have a you know, something prepared in case, you know, I have to have a few people, you know, come my way, you know, and I'm just motivating and trying to encourage others to do so, and, you know, in a wise way, not just getting land with just anyone, but just making sure that, you know, you follow the right steps and, you know, do your research. And we actually did a class, me and my wife, we all the things that the steps, we're not experts, but I mean, everything that we did, we wrote it down, and we had like a little seminar online for the Houston church to help them to know about their counties, the rules and regulations, and how to get land, what to do, how to, you know, save a little money when doing this, and the down payment, everything that it takes. So we sacrificed some of our time to make sure that we did some of these things. So like I said, we're not experts, but I don't feel like there's just anything that I can't do. I mean, you got YouTube, you got Google, you can ask questions, you can do research. So my thing at the end of the day is just stop talking about it and let's do it. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing so far. I mean, as you know, I planted in the Greek islands a whole farm of corn by my hand and cucumbers. I did all this for many years. So, I mean, I'm pretty good at it by now, and I'm still constantly learning. But, you know, my goal now is to get, you know, some livestock pretty soon as I get settled on the land, like sheep, cow, a few cows, a few goats. And, you know, I've been having chickens in Egypt, and when I came back, I had chickens. So I had to have those chickens.
Hey, Lawya got chickens. Lawya have chickens.
You got to have them.
Some real nice eggs, too. Let me ask you, and just when we first came together in this work, and the Most High commanded us to go do what has to be done, and enduring through all this, knowing that the Bible says he would send us out as he-goats before the flock. Did you have any idea at that time, this is what you would be doing some almost 15 years later?
No, sir. In short, no, sir. And hindsight is 2020. So as I matured and I fasted, you know, fasted and prayed and studied, I really took my time like Enoch to sit out. I feel like the Most High put us outside of there to separate from what we were used to, take some of that anxiety and PTSD off and study and just set up churches eventually. That's what we realized, that's what it was really for, and not just that Babylon was going to be destroyed. I did not realize all of this. I was 24 years old, so I'm 37 now. So in my mature stage, I realized, hold up, I look back, the disciples left, they didn't have no purse, they did this, they did that. And it's so similar, man. It just, and I have to really say that these brothers, you Lawya, all the people who's still around, your Rock, Ramar, I mean, they really, I mean, these brothers really put their lives on the line to go out to such a place, and the Most High took care of us. And I mean, sometimes we had it, sometimes we didn't, but the most important thing is that we endured and we persevered through it all. So, and I came back with nothing. And in what, a year or two, I got land. I got 10 acres of land. So it just, the Most High, anywhere we go, we can lose this tomorrow. We're going to go and have something else. So it strengthened us to know we can go anywhere in the world and it'll happen, you know?
Confirmation. It's
Yes,
one
sir.
thing to hear the word, go to church, and just do church. It's another thing to have to live the work, where it's to sustain is through the power of the Most High, where you know for sure that his promise that he gave us, food, shelter, and raiment in doing this work, is guaranteed, even with nothing. It's one thing to do the routine of church. It's one thing to live it and have to survive and sustain while doing it. You have to totally depend on the Most High and just keep your head down and do the work, brother. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Elder Lawya. I'm proud of you young men. I've seen you as young men, and the Most High have turned y'all into full-fledged elders. And speaking of the preparation, you know I have to put your YouTube site on here real quick. Let me put it here 1 second.
Yes, sir. All praises.
Your YouTube site. Let me do that first, and then we're going to go into the preparedness part. And yes, brothers and sisters, do us a favor. Please hit the like button if you don't mind. Some people might be waiting over on the main page, but we're not there. So hit the like button. Let them know we're here. Okay. I'm going to paste that there. Elder Rawchaa has a page. Can you tell them just briefly something about the page real quick before I open this up?
Well, this page is a page that I started. It's called Bodybuilding, and it's not just about bodybuilding, the health part. It's just about bodybuilding in Christ. So a lot of people sometimes get confused because they know me as a bodybuilder, but it's bodybuilding in Christ, meaning I allow people to come on there like a brother who is very consistent. It's Elder Rawchaa. He shows his skills of planting, and I allow them to come on there and share their talents just so we can kind of create a pipeline of learning different things from one another, because we're all not experts, but we learn from each other, share things. Someone actually sent me some plants to put in my garden, so it's already kind of working that way. And that's basically what the page is about. It's just about inspiration, just to get people to get up, like you said, and stop playing church and actually kind of be about it. It's like an online Black Wall Street per se. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people is kind of doing similar things, but that's basically what the channel is about. Okay, well, I did put the link in. Let's see a few minutes of this real quick. A few minutes of it real quick here. Let's see. Yes. Let's see. Yeah. Let me fix this real quick. 1 moment. Bear with us, brothers and sisters. Sometimes this stuff just it just does what it want to do. All right. Here's one thing I have. You sent me 2 links. Okay. So let's go through a little bit on each link. You can set it up for the brothers and sisters out there. And I have some news, Rawchaa. I got some shocking news for you. You hope you didn't hear it already, because I know our news spread around. I don't know. I'm talking about the news on me. The news, what I, something, something woke me up 5 a.m. Oh, man. 5 a.m. I got up. And when I got up, I told Elder Lawya the news. And you haven't heard it, have you? No, sir. No, sir. Whoa. You get it real time with our brothers and sisters tonight. Lawya, no. But let me set up the first one. The first one I see, it was uploaded May 16th. How to care for bees. Okay. And if you can set this up, what exactly are we seeing here? I'm about to pull it up. Let me go to your page, bodybuilding. It shows here, bodybuilding. Here's the main page, bodybuilding. Right. So right up. So
be careful, guys, because you don't.
So you all can do exactly what I did to subscribe and hit the notifications for this particular page, okay? So set this up for me, Rawchaa, the one how to care for bees. Yes. You want me to explain what's going on in the video? Yes. Just real quick to set it up before I hit play, and I'll just give it a few minutes of it. Okay, so in this video, guys, we have a beekeeper named Bruce, Mr. Bruce. I don't remember his last name, but he is one of the top beekeepers in all of Texas, one of the best. And we needed the bees to have an agriculture tax exemption. So we got with him. Someone recommended him to us, and he came on the land. He helps you. He gives you a seminar. He comes on there hands-on and teach you how to do it once you pay him his fee or whatever. But he is very knowledgeable. And he also teaches things about radios. Like I got these radios behind me, how to, have these radios going on where you could be hearing stuff in Europe and all of that. He teaches people how to deal with greenhouses and make money from it in the market or whatever, in the farmer's market. But in this particular video here, he's just showing us how to care for bees, because I'm still learning. I'm still getting good at it.
But Mr. Bruce was very knowledgeable, and he helped us a lot about how to harvest honey, how to care for the bees. So that's pretty much what you're seeing here. And I'm having fun. I mean, I'm being myself around them. And, you know, it was really a lot of fun. And so he said, I'm not going to charge you anymore because I like you so much. He said something about you, I like you so much. I just want to come. He said, you can hook me up with a little wax or honey. But he said, something about you and your people. He said, I don't mind coming out there to help you guys.
You hear this, Lawyer? And people are panicking, wondering how we're going to sustain. They don't know that the experience of us going throughout the world have prepared us for this moment. We can lose it all and it would mean nothing because we walked away from it all. But now it's the interaction with the other nations who can look at us and see something different. He says, listen, I don't know why, but I want to help you. Similar stories of how when we went through the airport from the Middle East into England, and the guy told, it's like the Jedi mind trick or something. The custom guy told me, let me tell you, as far as every rule that says we're not supposed to allow anyone in this country, you all have broken. But I don't know why I'm going to do this, but give me your passports and I'm going to stamp your passports. So you're welcome to England. He don't even know why he let us through. I'm hearing these reoccurring stories, and folks, the only thing that I can understand is when I read the gospel, when I read the book of Acts, how there was always some interaction. The disciples were thrown into jail. And while the night keepers fell asleep, the angels came and opened the gate. And guess what? They were thrown in jail for prophesying. The angels come and open the gate, elders, and they're out prophesying on the same corner the next day. So let me tell you, this relationship that we're developing, he don't know it right now. He think it's just a temporal relationship with him teaching you how to care for bees. But when it all kick in, he's going to remember you. When everything break down, guess what? We're going to have pros like that, baptized in the water. And guess what? Beekeepers are going to be a part of the work. This is how it has happened every place we've gone. REI, Elder Lawya. People didn't initially join the church who seen us on YouTube or seen us out in the street. It was through interaction that others came in with certain trades and gifts who became a part of the body. So let's see what we have here. Let's just see a few minutes of it. How to care for bees.
Be stung by these bees. You know what I'm talking about? Today we got OG Bruce, the beekeeper, on here to give us some wisdom, knowledge, and understanding on how to take care of some of these bees. Peace and blessings.
Hey guys, we are live at 5. Bodybuilding.
Look at what the Most High does, man.
Independence. Homesteading. Learning from master. This is the OG of the bees. So we gotta let them be. And we're gonna try to be careful. Hey, what's up guys? We're on bodybuilding. It's me, it's Officer Guitar, and I got Mr. Bruce. I got Mr. You want to introduce yourself?
Bruce Ford, the beekeeper.
The beekeeper. He said we have some friendly bees, so hopefully we're not gonna get stung out here today. Gonna learn a lot.
Don't forget the scripture says that he will cause the Gentiles to entreat thee well.
Amen.
He will cause the Gentiles to entreat thee well in the time of trouble. That's Bible scripture.
Because I have no clue about any of this.
I raise healthy bees and gentle bees. If you raise hot bees, it just sucks the fun out of it. Everybody wants gentle bees.
Right.
Now, I have to put a plug in. Ross Creek honeybees.
Ross Creek.
Let's keep on going through.
And you got so much resources down here. Wildflowers.
Look at that. Tell me the Most High isn't wonderful. Okay, hold up. Okay, we got the bee thing going. Let's go through the next one. Harvesting honey for the first time. You know I have to go there. We have to see the end product, right? And don't tell me, hey, Through the Spirit of the Most High, the gathered of Christ Church is working. And it's important that brothers and sisters can see that there's just as much power within the body with the workers like these bees that has just as much strength as the power all of us be witnessing during broadcasts when two or more together and it's in this word and groundbreaking information is coming through. Well, the Holy Spirit doesn't just work when the Bible is being taught. That spirit translate into real time to change things. That same power, it's that same spirit. But what now brothers and sisters are seeing, that power manifested in other areas. Anything, those who believe in the Most High and trust in Him, anything we put our hands to will prosper. As long as we're doing the will of the Most High, as long as we're doing it, guess what? He'll bless. He'll give us the bless with the gifts of our hands. And look, Ari, I didn't plan this. When this young man was baptized, I didn't say you're going to be beekeeper. You're going to be. Listen, no. You are a brother in Christ. May the Most High anoint you and direct you in whatever ministry. Because once you come out of that water, you're in the Most High's hands, and the Holy Spirit directs your path. Okay? So let's see it.
Starts laying eggs immediately.
Wait, so
So right now, and that's a Cordova. See how pretty golden she is?
yes, she is.
And she lays gentle eggs. That's a trait, a genetic of Cordovans. That's why I like to raise Cordovan queens. And I'm telling you, this is a beautiful place to raise queens. Because see, now we've got Miss Hilda's bee yard over there.
Gotcha.
Your bee yard here, and a half a mile over there is Mr. Abe's bee yard.
Right.
So when
Man, listen, I almost can't contain myself right now. Elder Rawchaa, this is so incredible. I mean, from should come last week to this? Are you kidding me? And people wondering, listen, the Bible says what? The earth is the Most High's footstool. You think that the Most High is going to is not going to reveal himself in a time of trouble? You think that he's going to leave Jacob out to be destroyed? Have there ever been a time where the prophets and teachers and those who trusted in the Most High was turned away? This is power, brother.
And the drones come out of here and go up and make a drone congregation area and wait for the virgin queens to come mate. Your queens are going to come out of here and go over there.
So
they
you're
aren't
harvesting.
going to mate with your drones.
Yeah, at the end of the video, I'm with my daughter harvesting it.
Okay, let me go to the end where you're harvesting the honey. Let me go to the end. Let's get it. Look at this.
It's a lot of capped babies or covered babies. They call them capped brood. They got the honey on that side, and they use the honey to help them to be able to go to work as well. Or in the summertime, which I'm going to learn about, that they need a little bit of sugar water to help them in the hot months of the summer as well. But it seems like Mr. Bruce said that these bees are producing pretty well, except for some hives. We had to fix some hives and take some of the, take some of the frames out to actually help some of the other hives or whatever, and I was starting to get the hang of it. I said, hold up. Mr. Bruce was like, just go in there and get this honey out. And I was kind of still thinking about getting stung. But after a while, I was like, you know what? No, let's just make it happen. If I'm going to be out here, I can't be afraid. Let's just get it done. So here we're just trying to light this tin can back on fire so we can put a little bit more smoke. But it was kind of giving us a little trouble, a little bit. I don't know, because we didn't have enough tinder in there. So I had to go around and find a little dry grass and put it in there. So, but anyway, man, look at that bee suit, man. That bee suit is live at 5. When I found that thing,
He got a tweed.
I said, man, this.
Can't,
Even when
listen.
I put that B suit on, Mr. Bruce said,
Nobody can do it like Jake. Only Jake will find a plaid B suit.
man, that's a B suit right there, right? It was like ventilated.
He told me.
And those are the B
he said,
suits
man,
you
where'd
wanted.
you get that B suit from? That's nice.
Only Jake Lawya would would style out a B suit.
Right.
If you're in a hot type of climate state. I don't know Mr. Bruce B suits. Every time he came, bees were sometimes just finding their way in his. So maybe his is a little older. And he was smacking his face, trying to get that bee out of there. I like, listen, let me make sure, hopefully I don't ever have to go through that. I'm not saying I never will, but he was smacking himself in the face trying to get that bee out of there, man.
Let me tell you, man, that bee suit, man, let me tell you. All you got to do is have those old blaxploitation side cool caps on with that thing. You'll be hurting the game.
So I was hoping that he didn't get stung. But as you see, we're going back over here. We got that, the bee box is all the way on the back of the land.
You better have my honey.
And our neighbors as well. So here he's picking up the queen once again. I was having a hard time trying to find the queen. You see all of these bees that are coming on. It is either trying to attack the queen.
My honey.
Because they don't really know her like that. Either they're going to be friendly with her, Mr. Bruce said, or they're going to try to attack her. So what he showed me, once again, is that you put a little marshmallow on there or something, and they're going to eat through it, and eventually it kind of transitions them into the relationship with the queen. He said they'll chew it up in a few days, and then everything would, kind of hopefully work itself out. You just come back out and you check to make sure everything is going right with that hive. So marshmallow isn't just sugar, guys. So for some of you out there, why are you putting marshmallow on there and this and that? We're not eating the marshmallows, okay? Calm down.
That's beef food.
I know some of you don't eat pork out there.
Yeah.
I don't
think
eat
that
pork
law
either,
applies
but,
to bees
it's just sugar.
as far as the marshmallows go.
All
right,
so
let's go. First of all, brother, I have to give a round of applause to all you brothers and elders who are getting it in. We're talking about only the prepared will survive the horrors to come. It's going to be those elders who believe that food actually grows in supermarkets. Now, of course, you can't have food and no way to defend it. So we're going to be going into those when your brother Malak come through and brother Yashar Gabar comes through. So we're going to be talking about a lot of that stuff coming soon. But the greatest protection is the mighty Ahaya, Ashar, Ahaya, the God of Israel.
Amen. Yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to give you the last word before I tap in, hit the like button. But I have to let you know what woke me up 5 in the morning, young man. 5 in the morning. Whoa. Something was loud as something as it resonated as loud as if you had a top-notch JBL audio system, right? It woke me up. Rawchaa, speak. And I got up. 5 in the morning. I got up and I told Elder Lawya that for the first time since we left the country, on the same level of breakdown, because I taught once in Chicago, but I didn't have all the signs and all that. For the first time, full-fledged speaking in Philadelphia tomorrow. We got the garments ready. We have the videos ready. I've been preparing all day. We got the security ready because why? It's going to be crazy. And let me tell you something, young man. I got with Bishop Amath and told him the construct, because I take these signs very seriously. I told him the construct that's needed for the signs. Elder Lawya, you know, when I think about these signs, something else happens. And let me tell you something. I'm going to show you what the Most High had us come up with. Right? Images. Let me get the images. First image. Will you be marked? I don't know if you all can see this. A matter of fact, do me a favor, Yahweh. Turn down the light for me. It's a little too bright. On your left side, yeah. Turn it down. See? Turn it down. Keep on. Keep on. That's fine. Once more. That's excellent. The first one it's showing an RFID chip. Elon Musk introducing a head chip. Voyager, which is a space seeker that went out in 1977 to actually measure space and to get data back from the heavens. And the Sawtooth vertical trap. And satellites that will be used to track people. And on top of that, satellites all around the earth. That's one sign. I don't know if y'all can see that. That's one sign, right? That's one sign. It's going to be real big, though. Will you be marked? Now, check out the next one, brothers and sisters. Death care. Death care is the next sign that we'll have on the streets. We're gonna take it from HIV, Magic Johnson, all the way up to current day on the streets. Forgers of lies, physicians of no value, health care, death care. A whole sign, real big. Magic Johnson. But guess who we added in this? Not only Magic Johnson, but Kyrie Irving and Aaron Rodgers saying, I was immunized on the sign, breaking it all the way down from the time of Magic Johnson, HIV, to modern day healthcare. We're going to break that down on the streets. Next, check this out. Check this out. Last but not least, feminism. Now, the scriptures are not on this one. Feminism. The first stage of ethnic cleansing will be a sign. The first stage of ethnic cleansing. With the scriptures on it. We have Gloria Steinem. We have the woman in the red dress. When Neo turns around to the woman in the red dress, there's a gun. Because that distraction is the system. If you have your emotions, your mind, the cares of the world, you are a pawn of the system. Oh yeah, feminism, the first stages of ethnic cleansing, will be another big sign. Okay? Oh, of course we got the little slave ships and all that, but people need to know what's going on real time. Jews and Gentiles alike, and the Most High put a spirit on me to come up with this. It's going to be the path to the mark that we had before we left Babylon on steroids. Tomorrow we're hitting the streets, Elder Lawya. Are you ready?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Woo! Wait till they see those signs. The phone don't do it justice. When the Most High says go, go. Do it. And we just have to make sure security's tight. But it's going to be a day tomorrow. I know it. We just have to make sure security's tight. That's all I'm concerned about. So here it comes, folks. Teaching on the next level, real-time prophecy while living in it. Also, we're going to have real-time graphs on employment, the amount of money people really make, not the lies we see on TV or Instagram, and the destructive plan they had to actually turn women against men, knowing that at the end of the day, their plan was to roll over the women. And eventually move the man out of the working class to make all women, especially black women, debt slaves to the system, where they'll be locked into having to work the rest of their life, and that was calculated. It started with, that's right, it was a plan through government to make women the permanent working class who cannot retire. Why? Because there's only one income. Grab that for me. Grab that for me. That and more. Yeah, it's fine. That and more. So I don't want to we're going to get up early in the morning. I got my wood outside. I got the wood outside. Guess what? I don't mind getting my hands dirty, okay? I'm going to make the podium we have to sit on. I have the solar generator out there. That's right, solar generator powering up right now. Okay? Oh, yeah. Oh, Lord. It's on. It's on like popcorn, young man. And while I have Yahweh right here, that's why I'm excited, because the Most High, it was like Rawchaa speak. And I know it wasn't talking about YouTube. So I'm like, okay, Ahaya, it's time. It's time. It's time. Hold up. Hey. And since I have Yahweh, come over here, Yahweh. Come over here, man. Come over here, man. He was here with us in the beginning. Look at this bull. Snoop Dogg Jr. There you go.
Hey, shalom.
Check it out. He was going through something that I have no idea what he was going through. And at the end of what he was going through months ago, he just told me today, at the end of, sometimes you break down or whatever the case is, and then okay, I'm not going to eat, I'm not going to drink, I need direction. At the end of what he dealt with, guess who called him out of the blue? Yahweh. Tell him, Yahweh.
Yeah, what happened was I did a fast for 30 days. I was going through a stretch where I couldn't find peace inside. So I needed direction. So without going into all the details, at the end of my fast, Elder Rawchaa called me out of nowhere. From there, I knew it was only the Most High. Now, started a new beginning. Going back on, you want to hit the streets tomorrow? Hey, I'm there.
Look at that.
I'm there.
And everything I said to him out of the blue, I haven't spoken with him in a long time, not one-on-ones. Everything that the Most High put in me to say to him was the answer he was trying to get during the time of his connecting with the Most High. And out of nowhere, I just called out of nowhere and broke down everything that I was seeing with him and what was going on with him and what he needed to do to escape what was holding him. And here he is. Now, speaking of that, I got a surprise for you, Yahweh. I have a surprise for you, Ariah. Tonight is filled with surprise, isn't it? I got a surprise for you. Oh, yeah. Where is it? Where is it? I'm going to do it this way. Years ago, when we were out of Babylon, you brothers did a song together called Warning to the Stars. I'm going to play that song, but check it out, brothers and sisters. It's Elder Rawchaa, Rawchaa, Malak, and Rapaya Allah with Maestro on the beat. I played this just to start one of the podcast, one of the broadcasts. And I got so much pressure on how to get this song. So much pressure out of nowhere that we now have a link where they can download the song if they want to today. And whatever money it is, it goes to y'all fellas. Y'all singing it, y'all take the money. I don't care. Right? It was such in demand, Yahweh. I had people was emailing me, they were on the comments, where can I get this song? I'm going to give you the link to get the song tonight, brothers and sisters. You will have it right after this song. But Rawchaa, I'm going to play the song. I don't know when the last time you heard Warning from the Stars, but here it is.
At the bottom with my hand on your heel. When I walk strong enough to put my hand on your ear. And nobody knows me better than my nostrils. So when I say something, boy, best believe I prosper. Gabar came and caught him off a girl while you was drunk off of alcohol, partying like a star. That money tree scared cause he saw me with a star. Standing tall, time to cut you down. Sorry, I'm in charge. You messing with the line rat. This ain't no scaredy cat. Try to catch me unexpected, baby. I'm expecting that. Bet you that you don't wanna come down to my level. I'ma humble you. One long walk around with a shovel. You don't regard the poor, probably why they wanna jack you. They tie the bird feet, scraps probably gonna crack or rob the earth for a work. You would think that this food fine, now you're traveling the space to go and still a moonshine, but I'ma bring you down.
Shining for a while, living above the clouds, but I'ma break you down. Ain't gon' stop till you're on the ground. With a lot of pride, try to live in the sky, but I'ma break you down.
Bridge post got me walking like a madman. Never really wanna see a brother stand up. I'm posted up like a lampstand. I bring them down like a champ, man. By they pride, I see in they eyes that I'm the last man. I bring them down like the two twin towers. Run up on me and introduce you to my two twin powers. Walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Worse than enemies, my enemies, so I be mad at myself. Y'all made me this way. Today is this day. That nobody gon' stop me, y'all disable this fate. The queen of Babylon don't wanna play with this. A King Kong ready for war, you ain't gon' make any escape. Equip banana clip, lasers, hazes, but just wait. I get revenge at the end, so you making a mistake. Strap tails, prepared and heavy, ready for that day. Checkmate anybody that wanna step in my way, cuz
shining for a while, living above the clouds, but I'ma break you down. Ain't gon' stop till you're on the ground. With a lot of pride, try to live in the sky, but I'ma break you down. Ain't gon' stop till you're on the ground.
Hey, yo, I'm on a mission, grab your shoes and run with me. The cops on my tail, but I'm moving real swiftly. It's like they got rabies on them things, make it itchy. But I ain't gonna stop till them suckers come and get me. I'm taking down the stars, all the stars in the industry. They try to take me once, but them suckers couldn't give me. They took my brother through, but they said it didn't matter, B, they lied on me. All the ish they said was blasphemy. So bow down your head and get ready for a tragedy. I'm coming for your heart, that's gon' come traumatic. I'm finna swing my blade like Slice Game. It's ecstatic to you guys when I kick there. You lanes gon' flee. So listen to the flow that I'm kicking in the air. And that's just part of my cross, I gotta bear. Cause I'm from the streets, my pops on a higher level. They know for melting cats and playing with heavy players.
You shining for a while, living above the clouds, but I'ma break you
REI, I know that song bring back memories. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You know, over in Egypt, they try to give you ketchup with your pizza, totally off. You know, I'm like, what y'all doing over here? You remember they want to give you ketchup with your pizza? I'm like, what the? I mean, what the Pharaoh is going on up in here? But anyway, but you know what? That time we were able to embrace one another. When I talk about embrace, know each other, be able to live amongst each other like brethren. You understand? And there was good times, bad times. We didn't have much money, but guess what? We found out the Most High, we was able to sit back and do what? Cultivate all the talents and gifts that the Most High would have in us. Right? So listen, it wasn't much to do but study, be amongst each other. You understand? Teach. And then when we're amongst each other, what? Boom. We do music. Come to find out, Mike did music. He learned how to do it. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, Lawya know how to rap too. And that's gonna mess people up when they find out. Lawya have some serious rap skills and with a vast vocabulary, but he can keep that under wrap. You know what I mean? I'm telling you right now. But yeah. So let me do that right now. I'm gonna put the link in so that brothers and sisters can actually get that song, Warning to the Stars. Warning to the Stars. Oh yeah, Elder Lawya has talent. All right. Warning to the Stars. I'm going to put it up there again. If you want to get it, it's just a download. It's $5. It goes towards these brothers, whatever it is, I'll give it back to them. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? We do our own music and we put it out, and if people like it, you get it. Okay? So if you want that download, you can have that download for $5. Okay? It's all yours. Warning to the Stars. You're going to be bopping your head like I was doing that. But thank you, brother.
No problem at all.
All right. They go your Hawadah. All right. Get ready. All right. And we have your Gabar up in the house. I said we got food. We're gonna need to be able to defend it. All right, we got him too. That's right. All right. What's the guy I said he looked like? Yeah, come over here. The Israelite Tay Diggs. Come on up over here. The Israelite Tay Diggs. Come on. No, you come over here. No, come on. The Israelite Tay Diggs right here. There you go. They go defense. Oh, hold on. The Israelite Tay Diggs, he gonna hurt the game. You know, all right. So he's our defense security extraordinaire. We're gonna have Elder Rawchaa out there. You're gonna defend me tomorrow, right? All right, let's do it. Let's get it. The Israelite Tay Diggs in the house. As you can see, we're brethren. There's a respect when it comes to the elders and the brethren, but you know what? We family. Okay? So I wanted to put that out there real quick. Got my apple juice there. I'm good there. All right. Last but not least, before I go into the lesson today, real quick, where the elders at real quick? Yeah. I just wanted to make an announcement real quick. One moment. Who that? Ruling with a lot of pride, living above the cloud. Real quick, Elder Lawya, what is our lesson for this coming academy, this coming Sunday? The lesson.
Yes, sir. This week we're gonna be going into the 4 beasts of Daniel.
Okay, the 4 beasts of Daniel, leading to the mark of the beast. And at the end of it, we're going to show you that there will be no Antichrist as the beast. Okay, that disturbing doctrine of dispensationalism that are being taught through the Jesuit Catholic Church. The beast in the very end isn't some antichrist, okay? It's an antichrist system. So we're going to go into the 4 beasts of Daniel according to the Bible, leading to the mark of the beast. Be there this coming Sunday. Go to historytimes.org if you would like to enroll. We're taking new enrollments for the next 3 months installment. 12 weeks of serious information starting with the creation of the universe. So if you're interested, come on through. Yeah. Last but not least, before I go into the scriptures and a few things I want to talk about, and really I wouldn't even be talking about this, but I've been getting inundated with email and messages concerning the blog that Gabar did the other night. Okay. Now, I'm just here to make a disclaimer. All right. That the views of that particular podcast, the views and the opinions is solely under Gabar. Okay. That's not like you're looking at a Gathering of Christ church teaching. Okay. So I'm going to just make, that distinction, because some people are confused knowing that he was once an elder, right? And you may see him and go there for the content you're used to seeing, okay? But yes, everything is amicable. It's all mutual. He's doing the podcast. He has an I Am Fit podcast. That's a totally separate entity from the Gathering of Christ Church. It's only his views and opinions. It doesn't come with any authority that's given through the church itself. Okay. So that's separate. It's fine. We're fine with one another. He's not an elder. He's doing the podcast and everything is fine. All right. So that's what he's doing. And understand that if you hear something or whatever the case is over there, understand that it's not the views of the Gathering of Christ Church. And we bless anything that he would like to do. Okay. We wish it all well. Okay. So there is no issue here. Okay. But I didn't want people to be confused after years of seeing it and then go and see something and then keep coming to me. He's saying, stop, no, he's saying himself, listen, don't be bothering me. He says, listen, I'm letting y'all know what it is. That's what he said. All right. So on our side, I'm just saying, don't be bothering me with it. Okay. Because you don't contact us, when Joe Rogan is having his opinion and guess. Okay. I know Joe Rogan wasn't an elder amongst us at one point, but still I can understand that. But you have to view that as a podcast, like any other podcast out there. It's not from a religious setting. Okay. With a core belief as the Gathering of Christ Church. And I just wanted to say that everything is fine. Everything is mutual and it's good. Okay. All right. So now, Elder Lawya, let's go in. And Elder Rawchaa, is up to you. You want to stay on or you want to drop off? Because we're about to go into only the prepared will survive.
Yeah, it's whatever, Elder. I'm on. I'm here.
Okay, all right. You're with us then. All right. Only, listen to me clearly. Only the prepared will survive. What's going on in the United States right now? You have our people, the majority of people, who are not seeing that we're under a social engineering, where a lot of people are dropping like flies or whatever the case is, just falling mysteriously, maybe who knows why they're dying. But there's been an influx of immigrants. We see it more Asians, East Indians popping up in all these retail stores with jobs we once held in the country. Now, some social engineering is going on. Social engineering. Now, this is not just a problem amongst black people, right? We always knew that when the Italians came in the 1900s and others that were coming in, that they were actually bringing in immigrants from those countries to buffer the slave class who built the country. So immigration has always been a weapon against those our people who did chattel slavery in this country. But it's a deeper issue than just blacks, because all other races of people, even the immigrants who came over to be leveraged against us, are under attack too. Because these new immigrants now are going to do to the rest of them, the rest of the people, what they've done to us. Replace them. Because really, overall, this is a religious attack. This is a spiritual attack. And when those Italians came over and others came over, they came over as Christians. And the fact that they believe in Christ is the issue. So they were only going to be used temporarily to buffer us until they found, that's right, the Asian replacements for them too. And you know what? One thing I know about this, when it comes to red-blooded Americans, guess what? They'll be willing to fight before giving up their place in America. Hey, yeah. Right now, a lot of social posturing is going on. But those that are under Trump and the Republicans, they see that this is social war. Because how can you have over 150 millions of people come over the border? How can you, and who are they replacing? Who's allowing them over? Why are some people just mysteriously dropping dead? And who knows, maybe the immigrants are coming over to replace those numbers? Who knows? Or it could be because the so-called liberal party, the liberal politics that have always controlled the poor, know that they no longer have our support as black people. We can see them now. The liberal agenda has demoralized us, and on top of that have made us immoral people. And outside of that immoral people, they want to tie their immorality to us so that God can attack us when he judges them. And have turned our people into unbelievers. And that's what's going on in the inner cities. That's why God is judging the inner cities. It's immoral. Because they attach the liberal socialist agenda to what? The cause of black people. Okay, that's right, folks. And when our people in the inner cities finally realize that we've been duped after supporting Asians, after supporting different lifestyles and sexual lifestyles, after building the country only to get nothing after we were promised. So from the top, the bottom, in the middle, guess what? A keg is about to blow. Hence the reason, and I'm going to be dropping this all on the street tomorrow. Society, all people in the earth, we're being played one against another. And the only way to understand what's going on and not be caught up is to take a step back and view this prophetically like Christ said to do, and not be a part of the social cataclysm. While it's going on, guess what? The righteous are going to be preparing. And the rest, I'm going to tell you, these other nations that are popping up, this is strategic. This is planned. And they must make room for the new people coming in who would do what? Who would go according to the government's plan in threat of being deported. If you have immigrants are going to acquiesce and agree just to become American. With the threat of them being deported, they will acquiesce and do what the power structure says. This is why they're looking to replace us with them. And when our people find out about it, because our people, guess what? They may think we're stupid. But it don't take too long for our people to start realizing, hold up, we're being played. We're being played. And guess what? Our people are waking up. It was Barack Obama we thought there was hope. Then there was Biden. And Biden only ran on not being Trump. He didn't have to run. So that leads me real quick, Elder Lawya, to saying, listen, this keg is about to blow. There's a video, Elder Lawya, and I'm glad y'all here. And thank you, Elder Rawchaa, for sending me this video. Real quick. Speaking of preparation, right here, it's only 13 minutes. And it's fair use. It's from some brothers who have a hip hop blog, and it was real. It was so good. I said, you know what? We need to do a review on this, but let's see. Ice Cube wanted to sit down with the Democrats with a black plan for America, right? And what happened was he said he would do something after the election, and all of a sudden, what happens? A plague comes out of nowhere and everything shuts down. And then there's an anti hate bill for Asians. Forgetting the people, the constituency who put them in. And now, folks, what they're dealing with right now is they need to replace as many of us, our people, as possible, knowing that what? Knowing that by the next election cycle, it will be a landslide with the Republicans. So what must they do? We're not participating like we used to. That's right, folks. What you see is social engineering. Some people are just going to fall and just drop and no longer exist. And next thing you know, Asians, and you're going to see Asians and all that replacing those numbers as if it was calculated. So let me pull this up so you all can see it. Fair use. Check it out. Hold on. Can you hear that? Hold on. Let me get it here. Hold on. Let me grab it real quick. One moment. Fair use. Fair use. One moment. 1 second, fellas. Let me pull it up this way. Let's see. There it is. There it is.
Hey, if you're an athlete or active adult in the Mercer County.
1 second. Yeah, this is from TD Hip Hop. TD Hip Hop. Fair use. Fair use. Found it. Let me pull you fellas back up. Let's see. All right. Yeah, there it is. All right, fair use. Let's go.
To start off today's video, what I'd like to do is revisit a few segments of a past video I did over a year ago titled Joe Biden, Immigration and the End of Black America. Now, when I made that video, I started it off with a clip of what I call the great prophecy of Dr. Claude Anderson.
Dr. Claude Anderson said exactly what we're witnessing now would happen. Give it up to an elder, Dr. Claude Anderson. He told us a long time ago this was coming.
In this clip, he discusses the impact that immigration will have.
This is fair use for educational purposes only, not for profit, for educational and review purposes only. And we give all credit to the makers of this particular content, TD Hip Hop Media. Please go subscribe to their particular channel.
On Black Americans politically and how damning it will be to them if it is not brought under control. Now, fast forward about 20 or so years later, and everything Dr. Claude Anderson said is now coming to fruition.
The second thing is that you're going to have an unending influx of immigrants into the country. And that's what Dr. Price is talking about. And nobody, no black politician, no black organization wants to deal with that issue. They will avoid it at all costs, even though in their hearts they know that's one of the biggest problems for black folk. We anticipate in the next 10 to 12 years approximately 8 to 6 million Hispanics coming into the United States and 41 million Asians. You have been the majority minority for 400 years in this country. You have been the number 2 population for 400 years. You're going to get kicked out of being number 2. You're going to go down and become number 4. Now,
is that not happening right now? You'll be kicked out. This is how they leverage immigration against us, folks. And it's the synagogue of Satan behind this. They done moved us down from the number 1 immigrant group, working class in the United States. And by bringing all these people in to make us 4th in line. Now, if we haven't gotten anything being number 2, he'll tell you.
Common sense, even a 3rd grade education would tell you, if you didn't get anything when you were number 2, you all jumped ahead of me, but anyway, you can guess what you're going to get when you become number 4. And the worst part about it is as you descend and go down to number 4, those other groups are going to go up. And as they go past you, you're going to have major racial clashes in this country. You're going to have fights all over this country between blacks and Hispanics, blacks and Asians, blacks and poor whites.
Fair use.
And black folk cannot fight all these groups. Everybody can not always be against black folk. They know that we are vulnerable and we are defenseless. And we cannot fight those groups.
Now, when Dr. Anderson stated that black Americans would have major clashes with these groups all over the country, he was not talking about physical violence. What he was talking about was political and economic violence, which is...
This is what they're doing. They're squeezing us, folks. Political and economic violence. Like crabs in the bucket, which at the end of the day, for the sake of what? Self-preservation, it'll only lead to more crime. When you go to Home Depot, when you go to Lowe's, when you go to all these other places, these restaurants, supermarkets, our people are no place to be found in the service capacity. They've made us sick with all this stuff they've given us. And we're dropping like flies, only to be replaced. This is social engineering.
Is the most sophisticated form of violence there is. No one needs to put hands on you when they can simply strangle you economically. Now let's get back into my old video titled Joe Biden, Immigration and the End of Black America to get a better look at what economic violence looks like. And just as a heads up, when we get to this New York Times article, the redacted portions of this article was the word C-19 and all of the other words that are in relation to that word. I know it seems a little silly, but back in early 2021, YouTube was knocking channels down for simply having the word spelled out on screen. So I just wanted to give you a little heads up on what that is so there's no confusion. Now let me elaborate on what Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about, because when he's talking about fights and clashes, he's not talking about physical violence. He's talking about politics. For example, I did a video back in November of 2019 titled Chinese Immigrants Attempt to Block Affirmative Action in Washington State. And that video was based on this article that's here in front of you from the Seattle Times titled Washington Voters Narrowly Rejecting Affirmative Action in Referendum 88. Another example would be this New York Times article titled A Blank Relief Fund Was Only for Black Residents. Then Came the Lawsuits. Oregon earmarked $62 million to explicitly benefit black individuals and business owners. Now,
So there was a plan to give black business owners millions of dollars. And guess who blocked it? Guess who blocked the money from the people who built this country?
The money is in limbo after lawsuits alleging racial discrimination. Now, when you go on to read this article, what you'll find out is that the lawsuit was brought on by 2 white business owners and a Hispanic business owner. Now, let's take a moment to read a portion of this article. Supporters of the fund argued that the $62 million accounted for about 4.5% of what the state received, leaving plenty for residents who are not black. They also noted that other blank-related funds were tailored in a way that allowed them to almost exclusively benefit particular racial and ethnic groups. A $10 million fund created by the state that largely benefits undocumented Latino immigrants, and one created by Portland officials to aid a district of largely Asian-owned businesses. So now the question is simply to be asked, what's the problem here? If everyone is getting their money, why is it that as soon as it's time for you to get your slice of the pie, now all of a sudden everybody has a problem and they want to bring on lawsuits?
So they want us to back the money going to all these people, their businesses and all that. But soon as some legislation is passed for us, the same people we support under the Democrat Party stands up to block what would come to our community when our people built. Let me emphasize that again. There would be no America for them to financially grandize themselves if we weren't here building the country first. But they come over, build on top of us, siphon the money out of the community, and then get in political positions to block us from helping our children in the community. They are doing what? They're blocking us out. We're sitting ducks. This is what's going on, folks. We're sitting ducks with no financial hope at all. Let's go.
And they want to form coalitions to block policy that could possibly help you. How come everybody has a problem when it's your turn to get a slice of the pie? That's the question. And that's what you'll be dealing with moving forward, and that's going to increase. That, ladies and gentlemen, is violence. Other groups get all types of funding and assistance that is exclusively for them all the time. But the moment there appears to be some sort of assistance for Black Americans, all of a sudden, everybody not only has a problem with it, but is actively working to stop it. This is going on right now with Black farmers in America who have yet to receive a dime from Joe Biden's American Rescue Plan concerning debt relief. Now, mind you, the debt relief program was not exclusively for Black farmers, but that's how it was sold to the public. All of the articles on the debt relief program described it as if it was some sort of reparations payment. Thus, the reaction towards the program.
And the politicians and the intersectionals will try to sell this to our people that this plan was passed for Black people. To make people believe that this guy did something for us. This guy over the current administration actually did something for our people. Let's see. Fair use.
Was received as such.
But let me give you an example of something that really bothers me. In this bill, if you're a farmer, your loan will be forgiven up to 120% of your loan, not 100%, but 120% of your loan if you're socially disadvantaged, if you're African American, some other minority, but if you're
African American and some other minority. What you mean if you're African American and some other what other minority? You talking about all the people they're leveraging off against us who are now being really just moved into the country. They're rolling in and to replace us conveniently because, of course, this is why the stuff that they're talking about for the last 2 years was targeted at our people. So that there'll be no people in the way to oppose the replacements. Other minorities? What other minorities?
white person, if you're a white woman, no forgiveness as reparations.
And the moment the
reparations, what would a white woman do with reparations? So they're using a word to make us believe that this is a form of a pack of reparations. But the other minorities could be a person, white, who decided to deal with the same sexual persuasion. They're a minority now. See? That's a white person. Okay? So now, under the banner of minority, since we're hooking arms with all these other minority groups, they're in position politically after coming out of school to know how to access that money. They don't teach us that in college. They teach them that. So all the minority money is being siphoned into a community based on your sexual preference. You are not a minority if you are a straight person. If you're a straight white person, you're not a minority. You can't get the money being straight, believing in God, having family. But if you are a person who decide to love the same sex and is white, you have access. To whose money? The money that was originally given to our people through the Civil Rights Bill. That money.
American Rescue Plan became law, this happened.
I was driving in the left-hand lane.
Oh, no, that ain't going to happen. You're driving in the left-hand lane, right? I'm going to show you how that works. Show you how we're going to work with that. Skip button.
By President Joe Biden in the spring of 2021 was supposed to bring debt relief to socially disadvantaged farmers. A little over a year later, lawsuits blocking the program threatened to accelerate a long-running decline in the number of black-owned farms.
Now, see, this particular piece, Aria, I'm glad you stayed. This particular piece will actually affect you if there was money for you to farm. If you was under the Civil Rights Bill and all these other minorities wasn't leveraged off against you, you could actually go get millions of dollars to not just be farming bees. See that?
No, I know that, we actually looked into that, but there was something to where Esau, they actually went against some money that was supposed to go to black farmers, because they were like, well, why is it just going to black farmers? As if these guys haven't got all type of benefits already. We need something. So, there was money it's just being held in court right now. There's actually something we looked into about that.
And look at that. They're blocking money that belonged to your foreparents, our people who built the country. And when they do shape a legislation that looks like they're finally going to help us, what happens? The other people swoop in and get it before we get it, and they filibuster us. They'll let you file the paperwork, but sit your paperwork in the bin somewhere. Just throw it right in the trash.
Yep.
Debt relief program, which is held up in the courts,
I'll tell you what. Not to say that Trump is any different, right? But I'll say this. Hey, you cannot find a Biden supporter anywhere. I mean, all these people are in the witness protection program. Before the election, you couldn't hide them. This is what y'all asked for. But Ice Cube was smart. He strategically got in front of it right before November so that they had to address him because he was disrupting the media's liberal signal of misdirection and making us believe that it would be the end of the world if Trump was in charge. But look at our gas prices. We were locked in our homes. On top of that, hold up. Medical procedures almost compulsory to actually get a job or to keep a job. And some of our people barely had anything before the plague was engineered.
Met immediate resistance from groups of white farmers as well as banks. White farmers argued that the relief amounted to a reversal of racial discrimination and sued the USDA to block the program. Separately, the early repayment of loans under the program upset banks, which said they were being unjustly deprived of interest payments. Courts have issued preliminary injunctions blocking the relief. That left qualifying farmers who completed paperwork paving the way for debt forgiveness deeper into debt and struggling as they deal with soaring costs of fuel, fertilizer, and other inputs.
Oh yeah, when it comes to debt relief for colleges, that was a trap for black women to make them debt slaves. That's right, folks. We're only, as they claim, 15% of the population. Speaking of the original black slaves, another name out there, foundational black Americans, right? Foundational black Americans. And y'all need to think about this, folks. We were I'm gonna tell you, we were the ones. We started it all. We did it all. And now at the end of it, the money goes to everyone else. Let me get that piece again.
Preliminary injunctions blocking the relief. That left qualifying farmers who completed paperwork paving the way for debt forgiveness deeper into debt and struggling as they deal.
Yeah, I lost my thought. We're only 13% of the population, speaking of what they call foundational black Americans, right? 13 to 15% of the overall population. How is it that there's all these white people who outpopulate blacks in America in particular? And when you put in all the groups together, black women own 22%. I'm going to go over these numbers on the street tomorrow. 22% of college debt. 22% of college debt is owned by black women. And white women is almost matter of fact, is almost half of that. A little bit more than half. And it's more white women than black women. Now, the reason why they did that, because they knew that if they rise the prices on everything, they would not be able to survive without a supplemental income that only comes with them being agreeable or married to someone. There's no way anyone in this economy can live off of one salary. The only way that our sisters would have survived this is if they were agreeable and married to someone to supplement the other half, because men make more than women. And together they could survive it financially. But if they could teach a toxic ideology in the colleges that would make them think that another income wasn't necessary, by the time the sisters realized what happened, that's right, they would be stuck trying to survive the rest of their life off of one income without being able to retire. That was the plan, to make debt slaves. I got the numbers. I'm going over it tomorrow.
With soaring costs of fuel, fertilizer, and other inputs, Boyd said. There are folks so concerned that the program won't be implemented that they've already started liquidating assets, said Dania Davey, the director of land retention and advocacy for the Federation of Southern Cooperatives Land Assistance Fund, a nonprofit cooperative association of black farmers, landowners, and cooperatives with members largely across the South. Now, I want to read the opening sentence to this highlighted section one more time. There are folks.
They knew that no one could survive under the current climate, financial climate, under one income. It's impossible. And they knew it. The rich are struggling together. Just imagine the poor base, elders. The poor base who can't make ends meet as it is, deciding to attempting to survive in this climate under one income. And then before you leave college, before you make one dime really from your degree, you're already $100,000 in debt. You've already lost all the time in your prime years that you could have gotten what? That you could have gotten the person who could supplement you for the rest of your life. They take away the prime years when you can get the highest earner for yourself. And at the end of it, the person that you would have been with in college or whatever the case is at that age, with a family, with no debt, has already been latched on to someone else while they have us chasing what? A degree. And by the time we get that degree, that person that we should have linked with is a high earner connected to someone else now. Hey, let me tell you, this was diabolically genius. It was genius how they made debt slaves. And this is how they sell it. They'll be on the news, they'll be on TV. All their programs is woman empowerment. You can do anything man can do. And they're doing that just for the hype. Knowing that women can't sustain like that. But if they can program them that there's some level of empowerment, they will be able to embrace their own slavery. If they do empowerment, they can now know at night they're struggling, can't put things together, the income isn't working, the debt isn't forgiven, but media is making them believe that everything is good because this is empowering, to operate and be able to survive on your own. But there's a lot of things going on out there, and I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. A lot of people out there are secretly selling their body to supplement income. And that's a large segment of women that's on these Instagrams and others who are not saying it. But I'll be talking about that tomorrow. But let's go.
So concerned that the program won't be implemented, they've already started liquidating assets. So because the debt relief program has been blocked, black farmers have two options. You can lose your land outright due to crushing debt and inflation, or you can sell your land off. And I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that they're selling off their farms for well under the actual value of the land out of desperation. Please understand, this is violence. And now that same violence continues with Ice Cube. Now, as many of you already know, Ice Cube...
Remember this? Ice Cube tried to get money for his people. He also said at the same time that he knew we were Israel and that the Israelites were black. Okay? He tweeted that. He showed that on some of his own social pages.
He recently struck a $100 million deal with the NFL for black businesses. And not too long after, this article was released titled Ice Cube's Alleged Anti-Asian, Anti-Semitic Past.
Look at that. The NFL struck a deal that can actually put money into real black businesses. And who's blocking it? Anti-Asian, anti-Semitic past resurfaces after news of NFL partnership. Look at that. Who's blocking our people, folks? So the question is, why are we supporting these people who block every chance of us getting out of this hole that began through chattel slavery?
Surfaces after...
And you know what? We're such a caring people, loving people. We support everyone else before ourselves. And soon as someone try to throw us a bone, the same people who claim to be what? For us, turns against us. The only time they try to act as if they're acquiescing or agreeing with us is when it's time to vote and put one of their people in office who will do such things as this.
News of NFL partnership. And it should be noted that this article was produced by the website Next Shark, which is an Asian American news outlet. Now, the writer of this article is trying to be slick here, but he's not. You see, 2 years ago, Ice Cube sent a strong message out to all of those attempting to label him as anti-Semitic. And that message was sent through Cube's lawyers, who issued a cease and desist letter to Marlo Stern after writing a hit piece on Ice Cube for the Daily Beast titled Ice Cube's Long Disturbing History of Anti-Semitism, where he lied on Ice Cube in an attempt to assassinate his character. Now, in the cease and desist letter, Ice Cube's lawyer threatened further legal action if the lies continued. Understand, this was not only a message to Stern, but a message to all of those attempting to push the lie that Ice Cube is anti-Semitic. Now, coming back to this article by the Asian American news outlet Next Shark, what they did in order to be slick is not outright call Ice Cube anti-Asian or Semitic, but instead fished out random tweets of those who are in opposition to the NFL partnership with Ice Cube, as well as pulling up old lyrics from the 1980s. You see, as a news outlet, if they say Ice Cube is anti-Asian or Semitic, then they have to prove it. But if they're just citing the tweets of other people's opinions on the matter, then it's fair game, because it's not Next Shark saying this about Ice Cube. They're just reporting on random people saying this on Twitter. And with this article, the hope is that they can instigate enough anger against Ice Cube so that the NFL drops the partnership and completely shuts it down.
So now the NFL will have a plausible deniability now. They can say, well, because we're getting so much pressure from these other groups in this past we didn't know about, we tried to give you the money. We almost gave you the money. But because of this, and there are people who own these sports teams who are of a certain religious persuasion. We don't need that. Come on. Let's get back to it.
The most interesting
was
back. The one that stayed. And it's fair game, because it's not Next Shark saying this about Ice Cube. They're just reporting on random people saying this on Twitter. And with this article, the hope is that they can instigate enough anger against Ice Cube so that the NFL drops the partnership and completely shuts it down. Now, the tweet that was quoted that I felt was the most interesting was the one that stated, "How often do you hear about these programs for Hispanic or Asian communities and businesses compared to black ones? Who complains about racism the most? I'm not knocking for supporting black communities and businesses. Help all or none, not one."
Look at that. Help all or none. Now, when it comes to us, we either help the Asians, intersectional, and everything else, or no one gets it. While this administration have given billions of dollars of PACs and others to who? Afghanis, Ukrainians, on and on and on. But when someone finally throw our people a bone, you either give it to all of us where we can split it up with them, or give them nothing. This is an economic stranglehold on a people who are on their last leg, and they know it. Folks, we're looking at an intentional choke out of our society. We're being full Nelson, choked out. And this is what God said would happen. That eventually that we would need to prepare, understanding that, hey, first they get us sick, they weaken us, and that's part of warfare, but then the engagement. And the engagement is going to look as if what? We have provoked them to react to us. When really, it's going to be us, fighting for self-preservation. That's what's going on, folks. But they're going to frame it in the media as if we're becoming more toxic, we're becoming more criminal, we're becoming more, we're filled with hatred. Watch how the media begin to frame black people while reporting on them. This is calculating.
Now, the reason I found this tweet the most interesting is because when people say help all or none, that's a lie. As you saw in the New York Times article earlier, the residents of Oregon had no issue with Hispanic and Asian businesses receiving economic assistance.
Exactly.
But the moment economic assistance was issued for Black American businesses, all of a sudden it's a problem, and it should be for everybody, not just one group. Now, nobody ever says
our people have been conned again, but this time they had a fix for the con. Okay? Barack Obama fooled our people twice. He didn't pass the marriage gay bill until he was on his way out after what? His second term. He ran on an anti-gay bill. An anti-gay rhetoric, and said he was for family. But then then they claim once they begin to come to the Oval Office, he had a change of heart in his second administration. Okay? Didn't do anything for us, but gave all the rights and power to the next gatekeepers who would control our community. Politically and socially, it would be these people over all programs to control and to come against those who believe in God in our community. But then Trump was there, and our people got misdirected, talking about racism. Listen, I would rather have the racist in position who's telling me he's racist. At least I have enough time to maneuver, because what? I would rather hear the truth, because how bad that might seem, I can prepare myself when I hear the truth. But now you can't find a Biden supporter anywhere. Gas prices up, everything is up, all products are up, not too much food on the cupboards in supermarkets. And now immigrants are in influx coming into the country to replace those who are dropping like flies after what? Following the status quo.
This when it comes to other groups who receive all types of legislative set-asides and financial assistance. Nobody cares. But the moment you start talking about Black Americans receiving anything exclusively for them, now all of a sudden, so-called people of color and minorities are playing defense in an attempt to stop you from attaining resources. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, that is violence, and it should be treated as such. And with all that being said, that does it for today's video. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video.
But so Elder Lawya, you see that? Dr. Claude Anderson said that eventually they'll use immigration in the country that will knock us down as the fourth in line for anything politically. If we didn't get anything as number 2, you're right. We were the first. We were actually the first minority class in the United States, where they had to do something for us politically, right? But then they did an influx of all these immigrants who are not just here to replace Black people, but white Christians too. But the white Christians are lining themselves up in preparation for a war if necessary, because they know what it means when immigrants come across the border. Because once they were immigrants who came in the country whom the government leveraged against us. So now they see let me tell you, immigration is a social weapon. You don't let a lot of people in unless you plan to get rid of others. What you have to say about that, Elder Lawya? Anything? And thank you again, brothers and sisters. There's a lot of people in here, and that's a good number for us coming here for the first time in a long time. So hit the like button. We're almost done before we open up calls, and plus we want to get some scriptures on getting prepared in these last days. Elder Lawya, anything?
Yes, sir. Just very quickly, I think it really goes in line with the title of tonight's discussion, which is Only the Prepared Will Survive. If we're not prepared to deal with the shift socially and the other shifts that are coming, or pretty much that are here, it's no longer coming. The change is here. The shift is here, socially, economically, and otherwise. If we're not prepared, we're going to be swept in the flood. And it really brings to mind the scripture where it says that the Most High must save the tribes of Judah first, or raise up the tents of Judah first, so that the others of the house of David do not magnify themselves. I believe that these things that we're seeing both socially and economically, even religiously and otherwise, it's either a fight or flight situation for the tribes of Judah who are present here in the United States. Either we will rise to the occasion or we'll be swept away and devoured. But nonetheless, it's all the Most High's doing. And it's forcing us to desire, as the scriptures say, a better place. It's forcing us to desire our true home.
Yeah. So I said, let's get a few prepared scriptures so that brothers and sisters can understand. But keep in mind, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. Some people might ask, why do we show statistics? Why are we going into the political landscape? Folks, because that's what Christ was dealing with under the political landscape. I mean, we are under a republic. Christ was born under a republic. Okay, so the whole deal is we have to understand the political landscape, because they're not going to say outright, we're here to stomp out the children of Israel. They're going to do it in a socially accepted type of way. If you comply to them and there's a what you would adverse effect and you drop dead, well, okay, you know, people can accept that. They can accept that, okay, you probably died of a sickness. So that's how it's done, folks. That's how it's done. So, hey, I have to talk about this on Patreon, but all in all, folks, immigration in every society, when you look at the history on it, is social engineering. That means they fear a certain group within the country that they need to replace before a rebellion or revolution ensues. So they get agreeable people to replace those whom they are seeking to get rid of. That's an old social. Immigration ain't nothing about opportunity. And when the immigrants come over here, they're handcuffed to the government to do what? To do the government's bidding against us. Why? If not, there's a threat that they may lose their status. So they're socially handcuffed to a system to oppose us. They have to do it for the opportunity. Well, there is no opportunity if what? If the people who built the country is going for the same money. We're their opportunity, folks. And in order for them to get the money, they have to get us out of the way, because we're asking for ours now. Folks, and I go back to even R. Kelly. I don't agree with him. But you think they went after R. Kelly because of little girls? When there's the Epsteins and every other, they have a whole island where the elites and others, and it's reported right here on YouTube, where they had a whole island where you can get anything you want at any age. So you think they went after him because he liked little girls? No. They went after him when he asked for his $1 billion in royalties. That's when they went after him. Folks, it's about economics. And they're not going to let R. Kelly children have generational wealth. No. That career was for him and him alone. No, as soon as he got to the age to ask for money, that's when it became a problem. Because guess what? Dealing with underage and all that. Folks, can't you see that they're grooming the whole society right now? How they're grooming children, what they want to teach children in school? They're already grooming children for adults to have access to with some of these programs they're cooking up for elementary school, for pre-K school. So it's not about protecting underage people, folks. They could care less about that. When it comes down to it, folks, it's the economics. And guess what? We're under an economical stranglehold, and it's intentional. It's intentional. It's synonymous to, and I always say this over and over again, Elder Lawya, it's synonymous to when we started standing up for our rights in Egypt. Pharaoh said, well, guess what? I'll force them to make brick without straw. It's synonymous to that. More work, less money. It's the same model. It's all about economics. They wasn't going to let R. Kelly children have generational wealth. That's not the deal. So, and guess what? I don't vouch for anything he did, but I know it had nothing. A matter of fact, his godson came on TV and say, listen, this thing was cooked up a long time ago when he started asking for his royalties. Before there was any case, before there was any such thing as surviving R. Kelly, the media has power to frame and shape anyone. They can shape the image of any person they like through the media. And like I said, I showed the dark secrets of the music industry last Friday on our Patreon. Also, when you sign yourself to a company, your death is also calculated to bolster sales. Okay? So you can companies can make more money with the music product once the artist is dead. So folks, if y'all think that it's about little girls, you've been looking at too much TV. But Elder Lawya, let's get the scriptures real quick.
Yes, sir. Starting off in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse number 11.
Oh, yeah. And not only that, if they really cared about little girls and little children, then there would be some type of CPS investigation on a lot of these artists and a lot of these actors that are going over Africa and other places, adopting these little underprivileged children. Or they would probably want to look into guys like Woody Allen, who end up marrying his quote unquote adopted underprivileged Asian daughter. So let me ask you, was there any RICO charges placed on Woody Allen? And if not, why? But I digress. Go ahead, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. Romans 13, verse number 11.
You good? You good? You good, Elder Rawchaa? You straight?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just following along.
Okay. I just want to say thank you again for being here with me, brother. I miss you. But I'll see you soon. All right. Go ahead, Elder Lawya.
Romans 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed.
And Elder Lawya, you talk about waking out of sleep. If what's going on since Biden have been president of the United States doesn't wake our people up, nothing will. He's not even halfway through the administration yet.
Right.
Okay. He's not even halfway through his administration. And if what's happening right now, don't forget, this is what they thought. Okay, Obama tricked them and gave all power to the intersectional, who's now over all the monies for minorities now, not black people. So maybe we can crowbar old Joe in, since he was connected to Obama. And maybe black people are so simple that they'll be like, well, okay, I'm going to forget what he did. Nothing for our people, speaking of Obama. And because Biden was with Obama, I'm going to vote for him over racist Trump. Well, if we're not exhibiting racism right now under this administration, someone tell me what racism looks like. If what's going on isn't racist against us, what we're reading right now, money that was passed, Ice Cube trying to get money for our people, only to be blocked by the same people who claim they were down with us, including Asians. Let me tell you, if people don't wake up now, there's no hope. Because I'm going to tell you, in a few more years, Trump is coming to drop the other foot. But that's a whole nother conversation. I'm going to be on the streets with this. We're going to talk about it, but come on.
Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time that it is now high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness And let us put on the armor of light.
And let us put on the armor of light. And you know what? The Most High wouldn't have it any other way. We've trusted in a political system that have done nothing for us since the slave ships hit the shores of America. So now, let me tell you, Satan have all his cards on the table against us and saying, listen, we never had any intentions for you outside of servitude. You're the children of Israel. We can't give you power. Your power is absolute. Once you get a taste of power, it's over for us. We built a construct to keep you financially strangled. Go to your God. The only one that's going to help you is your God. And that's what happened the last 2 years under Satan's kingdom. Those who don't want to comply to Satan, he's kicking them out of his economic system. And the only way to survive is to prepare under the God, that's right, who gave the word to his prophets that we as a people would be living under these circumstances. This is a curse. But now the Most High wouldn't have it any other way. You go his way or die, or you come my way for shelter. And what that means, whatever the serpent is telling you is deceiving you. The only protection is under the shadow of the Almighty. To be guided through the light of Christ. The Most High wouldn't have it any other way. And for those who believe the truth of God's word, guess what? The Most High is going to bring us through. He's going to take us through this. And he's going to have us in the wilderness, in the kingdom, as a testimony of how our God delivered us from the perils of Babylon, the perils of the world, with all nations breathing down our necks like Pharaoh was. But not just Egyptians now. East Indians, Asians, Edomites, Hamites. That's right. Satan have called in all his Babylonian resources. I mean, all of his Babylonian resources, all his Babylonian people. He've called them all in alignment against the children of Israel. And guess what? The God of Israel wouldn't have it any other way. Come on.
Yes, sir. 2 Ezra chapter 14, verse number 13. Now therefore, set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. Let go from thee mortal thoughts, and cast away the burdens of man. Put off now the weak nature.
And put off the weak nature. Put off the weak nature. And now it's time for men to rise to the occasion. The Bible says give honor to the woman as the weaker vessel. There's no excuse for men being so sensitive, emotional, and weak anymore. It's time to step into our nature. Men. Come on. And guess what? It's happening. And those without protection, and those who don't agree with the men, you get what you agree with. I don't have to say what's going to happen. The Bible tell you in Isaiah 4:1. Isaiah 3. Isaiah 4:1 says, listen, in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, what? I'll eat my own bread. I'll get my own apparel. You don't got to even take care of me. Just let me take on your name to take away my reproach. They're at the door. I'm a woman. I can't fight these people. Okay? Just put me under your protection. You don't have to feed me. I got my own bag. Because that's what they saying there. I got my own bag. What? You can have my bag. Protect me. Isaiah 4:1. That's when that I don't need a man goes out the window. That only work on Instagram. That only works on TikTok. But in the real life, women know it, even the ones who's saying it, that I don't need a man. They know they're lying. Sitting in the chair a man constructed. Being cooled by the air condition a man put in and fixed. Sitting in your cushy apartment that was built by men. A reality check is coming. That's why Isaiah 4:1 says, in that day, 7 women should take hold of one man, because they want to realize they were tricked by the devil like the serpent tricked Eve outright. And Adam was tricked for listening to her. Doing anything to make her happy. You look up and he tricked you with the empowerment at the most prime time of your life, only at the end of it to have a piece of paper and $100,000 debt that you're looking for someone else to link in with to pay off. They've tricked all of us, not just woman, man too. But the Bible says, in that day a man shall be like pure gold, which is rare. Some people have fell for the campaign. And now you see mysterious deaths out there with young men, football players who were strong throughout their whole lives, dying at the age of 45, 50, just mysteriously dying, just dropping dead, who knows why. And at the end of the article, it says what? It says there's no known reason for death. And we're talking about the strong of our people. Athletes who are dying at 35, 45. Mysteriously, who knows why they're dying? Who knows? Because no one ever asked them, well, did you fall for what they told you for the last couple of years? But now the media doesn't even take the time to give that person the honor to tell their family the reason they actually died. We're still trying to figure out, like, what was the reason for Kevin Samuel? They don't even they just say you died and there's no real explanation, but you're dead. Men will be rare in those days. That's the days we're coming in. And any man with any common sense is only listening to God right now. Only listening to God. And that's going to be the rare man that the Most High is going to use to not only teach and help, but to guide the majority of the earth, all nations, including the women. Because when things dry up, goods dry up, guess what? A woman is going to need a man to protect her. Even if she went and saved and stored her goods, you're going to need a man to keep those goods in place. Even if I have my garden, I got rice downstairs, I got this, that, and the other. You did everything you were supposed to do and nothing in front to protect you. And that's why I see Isaiah 4:1 coming quicker than most believe. Come on, Elder Lawya, let's finish it up.
Yes, sir. 2 Ezra chapter 14.
They said hypertension. And then I see others. You never hear this particular reason for death. But we need to look into this because this is a known side effect that's out there. You can look it up. It's called myocarditis. Myocarditis. Look it up. It's a side effect out there for some of these things. Mm-hmm. So I can leave it there. But go on, Elder Lawya. I'm talking about very strong soccer players over in England just dropping dead. There was a video someone sent me, because you know they have Ring, Elder Lawya. Ring, you know, it's like a camera, but it's also a doorbell. So it's as if you're answering your door, even though you know you're out or whatever the case is, because you have Ring connected to your phone, right? It's like a peephole, right? They show this UPS worker, right? He comes to the door to lean. I don't mean to laugh, Lord have mercy. To put a package down. And then it showed him just slumped over. He's next to the package now, just chilling, losing his breath, just slumped over. And no one is asking what happened to this UPS worker who they talking about the heat of the sun. Listen, this guy could have been no older than 27, 28 years old. Look like he's about to kill over. And they showing him in front of the door next to the package. Like, what's the delivery? You or the package? And I believe it's because they have gone for the campaign. They have believed what was said, and this stuff is hurting people, man. So there's not going to be too many men left. Straight out. Finish reading, Elder Lawya. Yeah, it was a UPS worker. He was slumped. Listen, and you know what? I believe everyone out there know why these people are falling out. Even the family members and all that. I believe everyone know, but they're not saying anything. They don't want to accept the reality of it, knowing that they have probably made some of the same choices. But it's happening too often for me not to believe that these people at least suspect that it has something to do with the choices they made for the last 2 years medically. Right? But go ahead, Elder Lawya.
Right. If I could mention very briefly, you have to start putting two and two together, especially the fact that they have a whole new cause of death, or a whole new name that they've created for cause of death called, what is it, SAD, sudden adult death syndrome, or something to that effect. I could be wrong on the meaning of the acronym, but yeah, it's a whole new diagnosis of death without any explanation as to why these seemingly young, healthy adults in the strength of their age are just passing out and dying for no apparent reason. So again, you have to start putting two and two together when it comes to what we're seeing in the earth with people dropping like flies. But
yeah, and
nonetheless,
yeah. But go ahead, Elder Lawya. Sorry.
Yes, sir. 2 Ezra 14, verse 16. For yet it says, in fact, verse 15, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall come, or shall be done hereafter.
Yeah, this is the first wave. The first wave. And like I said earlier, folks, people are looking for a military invasion. Well, you can't do a country like America sitting on over 300 million guns. You can't engage a country like that militarily. But the invasion has now come through immigration. And I'm seeing it. You can be military without a uniform on. Elder Lawya, you should have seen the guy. I made some lamb kleptico the other day. And you should have seen the Russian guy that I got the lamb kleptico from. You know, I got the clay pots and all that. The kleptico was just, oh my goodness. Anyway, you should have seen the Russian guy at Whole Foods that was pointing out the grass-fed lamb I wanted. And I'm looking at this guy, and I'm like, this guy don't look like a butcher to me. He was a Russian guy, right? And you can see the you know what I mean? He had a shoulder on top of a shoulder with a little shirt on, as if like he trying to fit this white butcher jacket. He stood around 6'5", 6'6". And you know, he was ripped through the, I'm like, this guy is not a butcher. And then he was asked, which piece do you want? Which piece? And he was asking the other people around him, what was the price for meat? I'm like, y'all can't see that these people are military that have been placed in these different places, in industry, markets. I'm looking at this dude, I'm like, he can't fit that jacket. It looked like he just got off the plane, took off his military uniform, and tried to squeeze into a butcher suit. And I'm seeing this all over the place. Home Depot. I'm seeing people who can't speak a lick of English working in Home Depot and Lowe's. I'm like, how did this guy fill out an application? Who interviewed him? So I'm telling you, folks, people talking about Red Dawn. Red Dawn is not going to come with Chinese people jumping out of parachutes, landing on the shores of California. Red Dawn is happening through immigration. But go on. I'm going to tell you.
Sir, Isaiah 2:11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day. Those who stand with the Most High, only He's going to be exalted. Now, the problem this world has, and our people has, the only deliverance of biblical proportion that any of us can relate to or actually speak of is the deliverance from the God of Israel out of Egypt. Now, it's going to be a problem if you don't know your Israel and don't know the God of Israel who delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt. And it's a greater problem if you reject His Son. So straight out, folks, like I say it over and over again, it's like the Red Sea on one side and Pharaoh's army on the other, mingled with, that's right, the wall of Masada. All three at once is on our people throughout the earth. And the only way to make it through this is to come back to the Almighty and prepare. Pray together. Stop fighting one another. Be baptized. Repent from our sins. And guess what? We have to lock in. We must embrace in the Spirit. We must, as a people, be one again. It doesn't matter what the enemy tries. They can try their economical stranglehold or whatever the case is, and the Most High will still provide food, shelter, and raiment. Guaranteed. And if anything, the testimony Elder Rawchaa gave, if anything, that can give others, can encourage others to know we were all around the world with nothing, folks. And guess what? Never lacked one day. Folks, we have people who dropped out of school, went overseas, and became school principals with no credentials in certain countries. Now, if the Most High ain't working on that, I don't know who is. So, listen, there's a faith that our people are going to need to kick in with. Why? For self-preservation. Because I don't believe, and I know for sure, this government isn't going to give our people nothing. They only give us enough to serve. And once we complain about that, your replacements are on the way. Now, I believe that our people, I believe that the foundational Black Americans, before everyone. I believe the people who built this country from the beginning, who came off the SS de Judah here in America, I believe that it would be right if the government gave our people reparations. Not based on their sexual preference, which can change at any time. Not based on whether or not you came after the country was built. Not predicated on anything but your family coming from those ships. Chattel slavery here in North America. I believe that they should give it to us because it will be only right, and that will set a precedent for all of our people who have been enslaved all over the earth to use the same model to get some social and economic status for protection, because the Bible states money is a defense. But do I believe they're going to do it? It would only be right. And that alone tells me they won't. When have they ever done right by us? When have they ever done right by us? So they was like, nah, if you complain, we'll replace you. A matter of fact, once you vote me in, I'll just bring over tens of thousands of refugees from Afghanistan. They have nothing for you but enough money in a time of a crisis with a plague over the whole earth to send money to Afghan and give Afghanistanians housing, finances. Where they getting all that money from? And what they're slighting our people on purpose. It's slighting us on purpose. But do I believe we should get it? Absolutely. But do I believe we will get it? No. I don't believe we'll get it because they've never done anything right by us, even though we've always done everything for everyone else. And the Most High is going to have it that way. He's like, you know what? You're going to only depend on me. Because suppose the country did give you something, you'll put your hope back into a system that will find a new way to destroy you. They'll just buy time and get rid of you another way, because we're living under Jacob's trouble. And guess what? Jacob's trouble is modern day social engineering, Darwinism, and what? That's right, depopulation, the survival of the fittest, eugenics. So their plan is to do away with their prophetic leaders. They know what's written. Let me tell you, even their witches and warlocks know when they be looking up in the stars that they don't see nothing but darkness. They know that there's no future for them and that we're the future rulers of this earth. They know this. So the Most High is doing it now. And he's saying, you know what? Their back's against the wall, but I'm waiting. And when they come together and pray in my name and pray in my son's name, I will send the light. And guess what? I'll have the angels go through portals to protect and guide them to safety. That's the future, folks. And the enemy is looking to get in front of that by having us do what? Self-sabotage and self-suicide. Go ahead, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. 2 Ezra chapter 15, verse number 13.
Come on.
They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fall through the blasting and hail, and with a fearful constellation.
Yeah.
Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one of another.
Here we go.
They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power.
So it's not going to matter who's the president, and what government is in place. If anything, that theater of the storming of the Capitol was really highlighting the fact that there's really no governmental hierarchy structure in place anymore. That theater represented what? Anarchy, chaos, with no government resistance. That's why they allowed that thing to be publicized throughout the earth. Let me tell you, you get 40 black guys from North Philadelphia to storm the Capitol. They wouldn't make it past the fourth step. Okay, that's right. T-Bone and Poochie would get knocked down even thinking about storming the Capitol. So that was all theater, folks, but it was showing what? It was showing that in the future there will be no regard for government. Government is not going to be in the way of the anarchy. It'll be allowed. If anything, if they were going to set a precedent as a deterrent to make sure that no one does that again, they would have did what? They would have showed serious force. Serious force when people when they claim they stormed the Capitol. The only way as a deterrent is to show that no, Americans may think that the Capitol is sweet. That the White House is sweet if I allow this to happen. Let that have been a few cats, James and Roachman from Harlem. Let them would have came together and try to storm with their guys and try to storm the Capitol steps if they wanted to. You just ask me where I get these names out. These cats I grew up with, man. There's a guy we called Roachman. That's a whole nother story we can go into after the broadcast. But Go ahead, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able.
Come on.
For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid.
Mm-hmm.
A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread.
Because
and
of what?
Great tribulation.
Because of the lack of bread, come on.
And for great tribulation.
And for great tribulation. Hey, young man, you ready for that speaking tomorrow? Oh, man. Whoa, Lord. Hey, we may have to, it's going to be some baptism. We may have to go straight to the water after this one because there's going to be some people lined up. I'm going to tell you. But read that again, Elder Lawya, that last piece. I'm energized with that thing going on tomorrow, but let's do it.
Yes, sir. 2 Ezra 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation.
For the lack of bread and great tribulation, that's the future. Okay? It's speaking of what? The breakdown of society that leads to Israel's freedom. America is being dismantled, folks. If y'all believe what's going on in this country right now is being ran from the White House, you haven't seen the news lately. With Biden and others, they rarely allow him to even speak. Okay, so the country is dismantled. It's just a matter of time. This is just some social engineering on how to dispose of the people. That's what this is about. This is a breakdown and disposing of people in society in a clean fashion. Okay? All right, let's go. Let's end it out and then I'll open up the lines. 515-605-9327. Only the prepared will survive the horrors. Come on. And we're reading the horrors right now. People robbing you. That's happening now. And all of that. I'm going to tell you right now, folks. And our people are going to go storm these other the Asian stores and all that. And I'm gonna tell you, all of these people, all the Asians and all that are gonna be ready. The Russians are gonna be ready. They all have their own markets, their own food. So they don't they know who's being pressured. It's the poor who's getting squeezed. And folks, or they can say, well, listen, go to a drug dispensary, go get high on your psychotropic marijuana and just trip out to escape reality until you're put down. And that's why it's drugs everywhere, because they know that people right now just need coping mechanisms. So I'm going to tell you, people see this thing is falling. The psychotropics are up. The psych meds are up. The antidepressants are up. Every time you look, another marijuana dispensary, and that is not marijuana, folks. That's trip medicine. That's LSD. Synthesized LSD on a lower level that actually been genetically engineered into the modern day marijuana so that people can check out. Okay? So this is why that's why they're saying, why don't you go check out your mental health? Get on psych meds. Don't accept the reality of this life you thought existed. You don't have to accept that reality. Make your own reality. Pop a pill. Listen, I'd rather be sober and go through it, because you know what? At least, that's why the Bible tells us, elders, to be sober-minded. I don't care if it's making me feel depressed or if I'm upset, but if I know there's a reason to be upset, guess what? I'll do something about it. I don't need to be smiling with some happy medicine under the same circumstance. See? There's a reason why people are on these drugs and popping it, because they knew at the very end that these would be coping mechanisms for the end. The American dream is over. Come on.
Yes, sir. Last scriptures, Matthew 24:15 through 22.
Let's do it.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
And you notice why it says neither in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day? Folks, usually they ramp up their next initiative against society going in the fall. That's when you're going to start hearing out of nowhere, we found a new variant over here, or the numbers went up. There's 5 people who died over here. And then guess what? Next thing you know, we're going to spiral into the fear mode by winter. And I'm going to tell you, through their lesser magic, they always drop that. What was that series that ended drastically?
Game of Thrones.
The Game of Thrones, right? The Game of Thrones. I believe it was one of, it was really before the flood. All of that information, all that giants and all that is pre-flood history. But again, you notice they kept saying in almost every other episode, elders, winter's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Winter's coming. And you see the Ice King, whoever he was, that's Satan, running around dead bodies and raising them like zombies, right?
Yeah, I believe they showed a lot altogether with pre-flood. I believe they also showed Babylon being destroyed with the dragon in an hour. Like it kind of showed the Romans being in red with Queen Cersei, like Queen Babylon having that pride, like nobody can destroy this place.
Mm-hmm.
It did a lot.
Yeah. And as you can see, everyone who was connected, everyone who died who was connected to this satanic demon, he would bring to life then they would be connected with him. In order for them to die, he had to die. Right?
Yeah.
The zombie apocalypse. That's right. Stuff that's in people that will be able to trigger the brain where they're still operating. They shall seek death and will not find it. Oh, hey, Elder Lawya, I'm going into it. The last week of the academy, the 4 horsemen, they have the technology where someone can live, where their body can still live up to 200 years. But how you live is a whole nother thing. The quality of life is entirely different. So it says that they will seek death and cannot find it. And guess what? Those are zombies. And
Hey,
go ahead, Aria. Oh yeah. I'm gonna deal with it the last week in the academy. But go ahead, Aria.
Did you see the man who fell to the earth?
No, I didn't. Should I see it tonight?
You got to see it. It's a series, and it's funny because they try to have 2 different perspectives where when he's falling, they kind of show how Satan falls down. But then they also try to show, like, if he's Christ. They try to mix it up for you, but they also show what you're talking about on subject where he had to kind of put his spirit in the other black man or whatever. And listen, it was showing the musician of Satan how it drops a lot of different stuff, but it was showing, it was like, well, your father's still alive, but they was like, you need to accept him how he is, because she was like, well, he's alive, but he's not the man who I know.
Okay.
You know, they were showing kind of like the zombie type mind state. You understand exactly what you're talking about. You got to watch that.
Hey man, listen, I got some stuff that I'm going to go into tomorrow. I can't talk about it here, but a lot of people have stuff in them that they have no idea. It's from another world. The choice they made, we're living in the first stages of transhumanism. We're living in the first stages here of transhumanism. And a lot of these people are going to be used as hosts to come against people. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be, that's why it says only the prepared will survive the horror. The horror will be the people who don't even have control over their own being. They're going to be controlled from computer sources on the outside of them. And guess what? What I'm saying isn't sci-fi. This is in DARPA papers. That your Wi-Fi, your technology, all of that was to connect the people to it the whole time. The phone is just a transition for us getting used to it. This is just a transition. They went into the war in Afghanistan because Afghanistan had the largest wealth of mountains with lithium in it. Lithium is the batteries they needed to bring forth the beast system with the telephones. But the plan was never the telephones. The plan was always people. Oh, I mean, wait till tomorrow. I'm going to be on these streets. And, people going to be talking about, because, in all due respect, Cesar Borgia may come out 1 or 2 times, but listen, I don't know if I'm going to go into slave ships anymore. I think that thing been beat to the ground. Listen, listen, we going into what's going on right now. I'm not got time to go into, oh, man, I'm tired of picking cotton all day. Nah, we're closer to freedom than we are slavery.
Right.
I don't want to talk about slavery all the time. We're close to freedom. So I'm not going to be going into what we used to happen. Oh, the white man held and dragged me many years ago. No, we're closer to freedom. Not that I'm going to forget that, but they're changing people right now. And what are we talking about? We're in the latter stages, elders, of the book of Revelation. Do anyone understand what that means? Do anyone, can any even fathom what that truly means, that we're living in the end books of the book of Revelation? Transhumanism, Elon Musk, all of that is the book of Revelation. Bill Gates. Oh, we're going to hit it tomorrow, young man. Watch it. Oh yeah, but come on.
Yes, sir. Verse number 18.
Yes, sir.
Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes, and woe to them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, as was not since the beginning of the world to this time.
Come on.
No, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
Let me tell you, if Christ didn't shorten the days that Satan and his cohorts had to rule this earth, no people would survive. It doesn't matter your race, because Satan has a plan for all of these races. He's looking to destroy all humanity. So if the Most High didn't cut their plan short, none of us would make it. That's how exact they are with this plan. They have a plan that if the Most High doesn't intervene, none of us will survive. Read.
Yes, sir. Last verse, verse 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
Come on.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
But for the elect's sake, our sake, the children of Israel. Yes, we are the children of Israel. For our sake, those days shall be shortened. Okay? In a nutshell, we shall overcome. Okay? We've been talking, we shall overcome someday. No, it's not going to be with us singing. All right? It's going to be with us acting. When I say acting, it's something we must do. We must prepare righteously. We must get under the hedge of the Most High, under his law, and learn how to operate as a people for the wilderness, knowing we will soon live in it. And that's why I love the fact that Elder Lawya, he's raising chickens. We had a brother dealing with a whole farm over in South America, and we have acres in different places all over the earth, Zimbabwe and others. And that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. It's going to take us as a people of God sustaining one another. And that's another reason why I appreciate all you do to support this church. Okay? That's right. Keep in mind, folks, money is a defense. And when y'all send and help us, and this is why I wanted these testimonies on here. I didn't do it just to have these, just because of it, but it highlights to brothers and sisters who've been watching us that we're not just sitting on YouTube teaching videos all the time, that there is preparation in place. There's preparation in place, but keep in mind, none of that would be possible if it wasn't for your support. So I have to put that out there too, but just continue to link in with the church. Stay prepared. Keep your eyes on the channel. Don't get dissuaded. Do not get distracted. Okay? What we've been doing in this church is what brought you all here, and keep the focus here on the church. The elders who began this and have baptized all over the earth, do not get diverted. This is the truth. Elder Lawya or Elder Rawchaa, do any of you have to say anything in passing before I open up the line?
No, sir.
All right, hold tight, and let me call in to the show. One moment. And again, we're taking enrollments. historytimes.org for the new academy. I hope to see you all there. Your money go towards helping us to do what we need to do in preparation. Okay? A lot of you may not have the power or even the time or inclination to do some of the things that we're doing, but it's okay. When you support the academy, when you send in funds to help us, donations, tithes, whatever the case is, it will go, the majority of it will go into sustaining things. Okay, when I say sustaining things, land, food, heirloom seeds, means of travel when things get tight. Okay? And hey, I'm sure a lot of you who've supported and helped the work one day you're going to realize it wasn't in vain when what? There's some food or whatever the case is, and out of nowhere, you find out of nowhere that it was what you did at this time. What you did at this time was able to provide some level of nutrients and some type of help with rations or something down the line that would be directly attributed to the gathering of Christ Church. Don't be surprised. So just because we don't always put those things out there on a daily basis, it's important that you know we are working. Okay? We don't put it out there every day. It's not like we you know me. I'd rather just get up on here on a Sabbath, throw that Mitri on, and drop the word of God. That's good enough here. But it's important that brothers and sisters know that, it is parlayed into doing things that's going to help long term, that can help our people. Okay? So let's make the phone call real quick. And we're not going to be on it long at all because, I have to get prepared for tomorrow, so hold on. Where are they? Did I hang up on them? Oh, they're there. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, let me call in. I'm calling in Blog Talk. Hopefully it picks up. Did it cut out?
Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, there it is.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Okay, I'm in. Unmuted. Thank you for your presence. Of course, a lot of you are surprised that we're here at G.O.C.C. NYC, but we'll be back next week with the regular channel. It'll be the Most High's will. Don't worry about it. I think we have here Maddie with a question. Let's go to some of the questions first. Maddie. 325 area code. How are you doing, Maddie?
I'm kind of distressed. And, my granddaughter, before she left to go to Arlington, she was all right. She a good girl. She didn't smoke no weed. She wasn't stealing. She wasn't getting in trouble and nothing. She stole from her Amy and had no remorse. And the face that came out, it wasn't hers. And they were looking at her like they were feeding on the distress of her Amy. And then she...
Oh, sister, I have to get back with you right now. I'm gonna let you calm down to get your words together. I know sometimes when people call in, you're running thoughts through your head and you can't get it out coherently. So I'm gonna let you calm down for a little bit. And Maddie, I'm definitely gonna get back with you to hear the story of what happened with your daughter. Okay. All right. 708 area code. I apologize, but I'm gonna give you a chance to get it together first. 708 area code. You're live. Diane with a question.
Yes, Shalom, Elder.
How are you doing, Diane?
I'm great. I'm great. I just had a question, Elder, and I love all of your programs. I'm in several of your academy classes, and every Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I'm listening to you.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
I have a question, though,
Yeah.
Elder Rawchaa. I hear you speaking of women having men in their lives, right? Yeah. Let me tell you, age. I'm 62 years old, and I had an incident that happened on June 10th. My whole house was shot up from the front, gunshots.
Sorry to hear that.
20th stop entered. Police was called and everything. They didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is I have sons that has friends. 2 of my grandsons are locked up. But anyway, there are men in my life, but no one came out. No one came out then or after to this day. So I'm just asking the question, Elder, what do we as the elder of the women do with not being married?
And you know what? That is a good question, okay? This is not an indictment on people who are single when I state that. Because keep in mind, the mark will be on the men of the Almighty. Moses, when Moses put the blood on his door that warded off, that protected the people in the home before the death angel passed over, that was the mark of salvation that was under Moses' mark. You understand? So, it's like this. Every woman that was in Moses' house was under his mark and protection. Like the examples I can give. If you are a part of our church, right? You may be a single woman, but we have officers. Like when that thing came down with the virus and people had to stay in their home, we had men, officers, who have certain number of houses under them to check when others cannot go out, to make sure the women who are single and the families who need protection have officers that they can contact and protect them in a time of trouble. So don't forget, if you're under a church, you're guided by elders and deacons. You have young virgins who choose not to marry at all. They have men to protect them, though, because it's like a community with our church. And don't forget, we had people, and REI is here right now, we had people that was actually in the Middle East during the original Arab Spring. And while other people was going crazy in different parts of Egypt and all that, I'm talking about, we had some people visiting Alexandria or whatever. Guess what? It was a community. We were all together. The officers know how to check on the people's houses. Even the neighbors were working in the community to keep the neighborhood safe. They would make it where the men would put a garrison in front of the area so that others from other neighborhoods couldn't come in and take or pillage within certain areas. So the whole thing is to have a community that you're tied to with men at the helm. It's almost impossible for every woman to have a man when women outnumber men at least 4 to 5 to 1.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So when I make those statements, it's not making statements like with sisters like you. Okay? Sisters like you who probably was married and are you older in your age, older widows ain't gonna have husbands. That's where the protection of with the officers, deacons, and elders of a church comes in. And we'll do that for you. That's what we do. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now.
Yes, sir.
And when it's time to guide you, you'll be under our guidance anyway. So that's also being under a man. It doesn't mean that you're always dealing with a person to be under that man's protection. All right?
Yes. Yes, sir.
But I'll be making some of my statements be more so towards the young ladies who think it's okay. In the prime of their life, when there's many people trying to choose them who could protect them, believing that they have they have all this time to make a decision. It's really aimed towards these young women who will waste away their beautiful years when they can get the optimum protector. Okay? So it's about that, because there's something going on in the earth where they're teaching this some nonsense about getting the bag and not needing men. Well, the bags aren't like they claiming. Okay? They're not making the money they're claiming on TikTok and all that. They're lying. They're lying, and I have the numbers. I'm gonna go through those numbers tomorrow. They're not really. Listen, they're not getting the bag like that. They're suffering.
Yes, sir. So
it's really more so to say, women, our sisters need to stop buying into feminism. That was a trick used by white liberal women to trick them out, to trick our sisters out of position with the higher men, to trick them to move out of position with the higher men, so a lot of the other nations, including them women, to have access to powerful men who would have otherwise never chose them. It was a trick.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go into that tomorrow. It's more so towards that we're living in a time now where it's time for us to value men again.
Absolutely.
It's time to value men because why? The whole world is going to need our protection.
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
And I also wanted to say, Elder, is that I am a part of, haven't attended yet because of vehicle transportation problems, but I am a part of the G.O.C.C. Chicago and just waiting for another date for
Give me an ink pen so we can get, there you go. Sister, I'm going to get somebody to pick you up because there's no reason you shouldn't be able to gather because of a vehicle. I have one here, sir. That doesn't make any sense. I'm going to make sure someone's going to pick you up for this Sabbath, okay?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm going to work on that tomorrow before I go out to speak. All right.
Okay.
Diane?
Is there anywhere we'd be able to speak? Yes, yes, sir.
Need ride to Sabbath in Chicago.
I live in Harvey, Illinois.
We'll make a way for you to get to a Sabbath, sister. Don't worry about it, all right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, I appreciate
and Elder,
yeah.
Will we be able to see you tomorrow when you speak in Philadelphia? Is it going to be live?
We'll see if that's possible. But some of the things I'm going to bring out, I don't know if it will fit what they would like us to say here on this platform. But I don't think so. But it will be live somewhere. I don't know if we can do it on Patreon or we may do it live through Patreon. But the clips are going to, let me tell you, the clips are going to be up and it's going to be resounding. So you're not going to miss it. I'll make sure you you'll get access to it, okay?
Thank you. Thank you, Elder.
You welcome.
And the water.
All right.
The
water. It's so good to hear these sisters dropping Hebrew with the water and this. I'm like, listen to this. Man. We have, I cannot pronounce your name. You'll tell me. 702 area code. You have a comment?
Yes, thank you for taking my call, Elder. It's something quick, but it has something to do with the show, the topic you was on today. But the last piece you were saying about how humans are changing, and I was watching basically Empire. I just got into it. I was wondering what was the big hype, and I seen an episode that the little young brother, the youngest son, Hakeem. And I seen an episode, they was in a studio, and I noticed like his so-called friends around him, and this what I noticed with the change and how people carry, how they make their hairstyles, tattoos all over their face. But the women that were so-called around them, they looked at like men. And the men looked at like women, and they all looked at demonic, evil. So with changing, I feel that totally, and I see it today every time when I go outside. I see the changing with us, and that's all I wanted to say. And I was trying to get on Patreon again because I had a prepaid card, and some reason it's not letting me reprogram my information on my Patreon. But that's all I had to say, and thank you for taking my call.
Okay, let me have your name again, brother.
Ezekutene.
Ezekutene.
Ezekutene. E-Z-E-K-U-D-E-N-E. Ezekutene.
Where you from? That's an African name?
I'm from the United States of America. I went to the G.O.C.C. church in Las Vegas.
No, I'm asking you, is that an African name?
Yes, that's an African name, Nigerian.
I'm going to call you Anthony. There's a lot of things going in Anthony Kutane. That's going to be a deep thing, and I don't want to disrespect your name, so I'm going to call you Ant. Is that good? A-N-T.
Okay.
And what I'll do here, let's see, 702. I have your 702 area code. And I'll give this to AC. He'll call you. He's our tech guy, and he can help you with your Patreon issues, okay?
Page you did, because I got another card and I was just trying to load up my information, but it was some reason it was sending me to help me to change my email to put another password, but it wasn't letting me do it.
You don't got to worry about it, Ant.
It wasn't letting me do it.
And I got you. Hold tight. I'm going to make sure he call you, all right? All right, bless you.
Right.
Bless you.
Bless you. But, yeah.
I'm sorry about that. Get the next call. Andre 757 area code. This brother always comes with poignant observations.
Yes, sir. Shalom, Elder. How you doing today, sir?
I'm blessed by the Almighty. I'm gonna tell you, I'm energized. I'm hitting those streets tomorrow. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Elder, I can't wait. I'm hoping it's on Patreon. I want to say, first off, man, double honors to you, double honors to Elder Lawya, and big shout out, double honors to Elder Rawchaa. You know, he a lion and he not lying. You know, that's the lion himself.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing that you guys have prepared an entire generation of brothers for this time that we're in. Even Jordan Peterson talks about the differences between how women are raised in this society and men are raised in this society.
Mm-hmm.
And men in this society are raised with a lack of responsibility and accountability. And like you said, women are pushed to be in that rat race. And Jordan Peterson talks about how biologically that's backwards, because a woman is naturally going to be removed from that rat race when she gets pregnant to have her children.
Mm-hmm.
The man has to maintain that rat race.
He's right on
and it's
point
just amazing that it's amazing, Elder, because us not even understanding biology or not seeing these things as brothers who, like myself, who might have grown up without a father or, all these different situations, just through the truth, you guys have raised a generation of men who are now responsible, accountable, and we're preparing for these times. Because like you said, I believe each and every brother in the Gathering of Christ Church is going to have to prepare himself to be a man for 7 sisters. And I'm not saying like there's going to be that many sisters that need help, but I'm saying that's the kind of burden we want to prepare ourselves to carry. And I'm grateful for the example the elders give. And just one point you was making about, I'm not going to say too much about inoculations, but there's an article I'm going to send Elder Rawchaa that talks about insurance companies. Basically, they came out saying that in 2021 and 2022, the all-cause mortality rate itself.
Okay, listen. I don't really want to say things like that, knowing how they're watching and just
yes, sir.
botting everything. And even if you say it and I don't even agree with it, they'll just strike the page. So do me a favor. Can you send that email to me? Gathering.
Absolutely.
Gathering as one. That's the number 1 at AOL.com. GATHERINGAS number 1 at AOL.com. Send it to me. I need to see that tonight.
Yes, sir. I would. Okay, I'll send it to you as soon as we get off.
And of course,
I'll skip that point and I'll just get back to
right.
double honors to you guys for the work that you've done, because you've literally raised the generation, and we're praying for your safety tomorrow. I can't wait to hear what you speak about tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to be pretty safe. I'm not worried about the safety. I think I'm going to be okay there. I tell you what, it's going to get real hot out there. It's going to be hotter than summer. I can tell you that.
It's real busy.
All right. Oh yeah. All right, Shalom. All right.
Shalom, Elder.
All right, my brother. What a good brother. Kenyatta 346 area code. And yes, before I bring in Kenyatta, just hold on one second, Kenyatta. I need you all to know that G.O.C.C. Media is about to hit like it have never hit before. We have guess what? We're going to have guests on like we used to do with Peace FM over in the UK. Different points of views, perspectives, debates if necessary, Islam, Christianity, bringing in special guests with opposing views to talk it out. And I'm going to speak to my man Bronze, so that we can actually, through G.O.C.C. Media, he can come on with others that have truth music once a week at a certain time and bring forth, different music, truth music, have conversation and talk about it interactively with Blog Talk like I do now. So, folks, we will not only have this channel, A Gathering 144, soon, all days a week at the same time between 6 and 10 o'clock, there'll be something Gathering of Christ Church live. Music, we, I even want sisters to get together when it comes to sewing, home economics, cooking. It's going to be a gamut throughout the whole week. So when you're not seeing me on Wednesday, when you see me on Wednesday and Friday, know that they're going to be channels, G.O.C.C. Media, that you can go to, where to be live blogging that night. We're going to start it there, and I already spoke to the UK because they're hours away. So we're going to work things where we can do morning programs and all that through G.O.C.C. Media. So when I'm not here on Wednesday, when I'm here Wednesday and Saturday, there will be content all week in between from the Gathering of Christ Church. That's why I wanted, it's going to be Gathering of Christ Church 7 days a week, including the academy. And that's, we have to connect more now that the time is drawing near. Okay. Kenyatta, how are you, Kenyatta?
Shalom, Elder. First of all, I would like to get baptized. I live in Houston. I'm originally from Philly, and I wish I was up there to see you speak tomorrow. But how do I get connected to the church out here in Houston?
Okay, that's no problem because I have Elder Rawchaa on the line right now. So let's do this.
Okay.
I'll give him your number.
Okay.
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna have Gaj and all them overseas to go find some of those old guests like we used to have on Peace FM. It's time to bring it up now. Let's do it. Let's see here. Kenyatta. Okay, I just sent your number to Elder Rawchaa, who's on the line now, real time. You don't get no quicker service than that. Okay? So he'll reach you very soon, probably tomorrow, okay? Rawchaa, you got that?
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes, sir. I got it. One of my offices is going to reach out to you tomorrow. Thank you.
You got it. One of the officers will reach out to you. Hey, don't get no quicker service than that. There you go. Welcome to the body, my brother.
Sounds good.
All right, fellow
Thank
Philadelphia.
you,
Bless you. Go down the line. 470 area code. Talk to me.
Hey, how you doing, Elder Rawchaa?
I'm blessed by the Almighty. Yourself.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This is Brother Rico from the G.O.C.C. Atlanta.
Yes,
and
sir.
I just had a quick question. I was going down Matthews, and when it said, I wanted to get some clarification on it. It said on 19, woe unto them that are with child, and them that give sucking those days. I just wanted to get a little bit more, elaborate on it because I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? As much. So I just
think about it. Think about it. Go to 2 verses before that.
Okay.
Go open up your Bible.
Okay, 17. Let him which is on to the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to his clothes.
Come on.
And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give sucking those days.
Exactly. Can you imagine in the wintertime on the run by yourself, let alone a newborn baby or children with with not much preparation? It's harder to travel or to get things done if you have to. Listen, babies requires a lot of attention. And you're talking about with danger coming and you have a baby, that's double trouble. Suppose you need quiet and the baby feels like crying. So it's going to be tougher to do things with the child. But the Most High is still he's going to guide us through, but it's just going to be a tougher task. It's going to be a harder task.
Okay. Con. That's all I wanted, Elder.
Yeah.
Man. Make sure you have a good one, man. Y'all be safe, man.
Thank you, my brother. It's going to be a tougher task, but the Most High will guide us through. All right. And even today, when a baby's born, you got to go through all these hurdles just to make sure your baby, you know, that your baby don't come out, infringed upon with all this medical stuff they're dealing with. It's tough to have a baby in these days. But I don't want no one out there to think and be dissuaded or say, well, listen, I ain't going to have no baby because the Christ say that. All right. It's just going to be a tougher deal for those who choose to have a baby. At the same time, they're running. It's going to be a tough task. But some people are going to be in the wilderness and have children then. So, who are going to already be in safety, in a safe place to have babies. But it's talking about at a time in which you're running. Okay? All right? I see you, Sunshine. I'll bring you in 1 moment. Did you eat already? Oh yeah, you hey, I did that Greek chicken. You tasted it? Oh yeah, it's right. 443 area code. Brenda has a question.
Some people in the wilderness and have children then.
Okay. Yeah, Brenda, do me a favor. Can you turn off?
Yeah.
Can you turn the broadcast off behind you, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Brenda, you have a question.
Yes, my question is that, like, I live by myself, but I have a daughter and 2 grandbabies, and she got a husband. And my question is that, I'm making that step, getting closer, more closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm not scared about what's about to come. I'm not scared about that. But
good.
My question is that I'm scared because that I'm not. I don't know if I'm too close to God like He want me to be, or whatever.
Well, see,
I had already got.
See, sister, but that's one of the misunderstandings most have out there when it comes to serving the Most High. None of us, especially when we're dealing with sin or whatever the case is, the first thing the devil try to put in our minds is that we're not worthy, or I got some other things to straighten up first. That doesn't make any sense.
Right.
If you're a sinner and you're called for repentance, you're in sin.
Right.
So when you make up your mind to do better, you turn your life over to Christ, regardless of the sin. You say, you know what? I want to do better. I want to put this down, because no one will ever be perfectly right. You understand?
Right.
Or in a place where they felt, okay, I'm totally good now, right? So now I can give my life over to Christ. It doesn't make no. If you're in sin and Christ is calling you to repentance, you just repent.
Right.
And that's a relationship between you and Him. And keep in mind, He'll accept you in your sin if you're willing to walk away and follow His law. He'll accept you where you are. There's no preparation to accept Christ.
Right.
So if you want Christ now, He'll accept you now.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I used to, only thing I gave up that life that I was living.
Okay.
I've been gave that up like 15 years ago, right?
Okay.
And I gave that life up, the gay life up 15 years ago.
Praise the Most High. You've been delivered. I said you've been delivered.
Huh? Yeah. And
let me ask you a question.
So my
listen. Let me ask you a question. When it comes to that, how old are you?
I'm 57.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking you, if you don't mind me asking you, you said you gave up a certain lifestyle that's celebrated now years ago.
Yes.
And
Like
we don't
15
get
years
too many
ago.
phone calls where someone is willing to admit that. I thank you for even discussing that, because you're at an age, an elder woman who can help others through that. I mean, help others understand that they can overcome that just like any other sin. But I need to know.
Yes.
I need to know. What drove you to that lifestyle? Because you were initially you were attracted to men, correct?
I wouldn't like really say that, but it's a lot happening in my life.
So what I'm saying
There
is
was a lot that happened in my life.
I'm saying, so there was other things going on that led to that particular action. Because don't forget, the Bible tells us, it talks about an inordinate affection. Right? It's an inordinate affection, because when God created man and woman, there would be a natural affection for the opposite. That's how the Most High made it. So it says inordinate affection. So usually something had to come in, trauma or something that happened within the child's life that would lead to them operating against nature. So what I'm saying is, so before there was any interest like that, was there something that happened in your childhood that led you down that path?
Yes.
And what was that?
Yes. It was, things that happened in the home. And the most crazy part about it is that, back in them days,
When you say things happened in the home, like what, sister? Like what?
Right. To make me go that route.
Yes, as a child, right?
Right.
And hold up, listen, because it's important we put this out there, because this is your testimony. And usually that's getting inflicted by what? A cognizant adult who know what they're doing, correct?
Right.
See, and that's the piece that no one discussed concerning this. The victimization that happens to women by other women. You never hear about that leading to that lifestyle in our community.
Right. And at that time, I went through a lot in that life, and then, I kind of like realized, this is not what God. I always believed in God. Okay. When I was little, I always believed in God.
That's good.
And at that time, I guess I believed in God so much, I was scared of him as a child.
Yeah.
And, sometimes when things like that happen in the home, you don't really get no help for it, because, it's like secrets, like you better not say nothing or whatever, keep it in the home. So you grow up like with it, with that secret.
Yeah, and that's a level that can grow. That's a spirit that grows a level of resentment, because as a child, one expects their parents to protect them from adult predators. So let me ask you, where were your parents?
Right.
Where were your parents?
Where was my parents?
Where were your parents when that happened?
Mama was in the household,
and she had no idea that this was happening.
She knew.
She knew.
And that's the thing, and that's the hurting part when the parents know and they turn their head, and when your kids grow up to be something that you don't want them to, to be, then it's like sometimes parents have hate for that kid.
Yeah.
Or they have hate for that kid, or they probably can't even stand in sight to look at that kid, because that kid grew up to be something, that they didn't choose to be because they never got that help.
Yes.
And when you don't have that help from your parents, that's the biggest thing, especially coming from a mother, because a mother's supposed to protect her kids at all times.
Okay.
You know, regardless.
Right.
You know, whatever, they're supposed to protect their kid at all times. So you grow up and you know, you got some kids that get on drugs. You got some kids that, you know, be gay. You got some kids that turn to alcohol, you know, start drinking and stuff like that.
And where was
they become?
And where was your father?
I never knew my father.
Okay. You're probably wondering why I'm asking you these questions, right?
Right.
The reason I'm asking listen, I'm going to tell you why. Because you came and said, I don't know if I'm ready yet, but I know I want to turn my life over to the Most High. Usually what happens when fault or when trauma, don't forget, you were supposed to be protected as a child. When a vulnerable child is taken advantage of, something happens where the child lives in an arrested development where they never grow past that point of being violated. They may grow up and all that, but because they kept those secrets, they're still at that same age and are dealing with all these spirits, and these spirits turns to demons. And then the demons, through an inordinate affection, will turn the grown person into inordinate affection to do the same and become a victimizer of the victim. This is how spirits take souls. This is how spirits take hosts. But I ask you the question so that you can actually say it now. Once it's out of you, you can now grow from that point and know that what? You're worthy. Christ have brought you to this point where you don't have to hide it no more. You don't have to hold it, because that was the demon that came in with the victimizer. And it stayed in you until you were able to no longer keep it secret. Why? Because you thought it was something you should be ashamed of when it wasn't your fault.
Right.
It wasn't your fault. There was nothing for you to be ashamed of. The shame falls on parents who are not in a position to protect, especially a daughter, you know, at the most vulnerable and impressionable times of her life. But still, but listen, you still have to forgive your mother too. That's another spirit. Yeah. That's another spirit that's lying dormant. The spirit of unforgiveness. The spirit of hatred. You did. There you go.
Can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, my mother ended up with dementia, and you know, I stood there and took care of her and everything.
Ain't that something?
And I forgave her. And I took care of her and everything. And before she died, she told me she loved me.
Ain't that something?
This when she was, you know, on her dying day, she told me she loved me, and that meant the world to me. And matter of fact, she died like 3 years ago.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And,
but sister, you sound ready. Sister, you sound ready to me. What you think?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm on the right track, because in some way, this is a scary world when you're not right with God. It is, and that's the only thing concerns me, and that's why, you know, when my mother did die, I made up my mind.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to walk with the Most High, because it's nothing out there.
Yeah.
It's nothing out there but death. You know what I mean? And it's only two ways you can go. You even go to hell, or you even go, you know, be the 1/3. And I want to be a part of the 1/3.
Yeah. Well, sister, hey, Let's do it. Let me write down your information, and thank you for sharing that, because I'm sure that's going to help others out there. Okay.
You're welcome.
All right. Let me.
Okay.
Where are you located, sister?
I'm in Baltimore.
Okay. Yeah, we have a church there. So that's fine. 1 second. Brenda, I'm going to have Jermaine call you, and we really want to help you and baptize you and have you come and be a part of this body. Okay?
Yes.
Your family. Family.
Oh, that's another thing.
Yeah, your family.
That's another thing. I've been baptized.
Oh, you ain't been baptized like this?
Yeah, I got baptized too. I got baptized too. I got my certificate.
Oh, you got baptized in our church?
No, I didn't know about y'all church.
Okay, well, let me tell you.
I got baptized.
Sister, listen to what I'm telling you. Let me tell you, it came a time where John the Baptist's disciples came to Peter and came to Peter and them and says, came to Christ and says, we know nothing of this Holy Spirit, even though they was baptized under John.
Right.
So in order for them, because it was baptized initially, that would pave the way for Christ. That was one spirit. But it wasn't until Christ came on the scene that they knew that they had to be rebaptized under Christ's baptism. And at that point, they received the gift of the Holy Spirit. So the whole deal is, yes, you probably got baptized before, but not like this, not in the true name of the Most High in Christ. So the change you're asking for is here. Okay? So what I'll do, Brenda, I'm going to text your number to Jermaine, and welcome to the body.
Okay.
All right, bless you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, we're wrapping up soon. I'll see you, sunshine. Got Ashley here. How you doing, Ashley?
I am perfect, brother. How are you doing?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahaya. Yes. Talk to us.
Okay, so I thought I had a question, but when I heard the last sister speak, I immediately broke down and started weeping, because my testimony is the same as hers when it came to that spirit of perversion coming over to me, my sisters, and my brother, which turned my brother to lead a homosexual life. Even to this day, my sisters are all over the place. My mom is bringing me into the light of the Israelite, but it was my mom that allowed for that serpent to come in and defile me and my brothers and sisters. And when I think about it, she married this man. And I thought I let it go until I heard her testimony. And it's like every time I try to pick myself up and move my children into the right direction, I fall. Okay. And I asked the Lord, what is my sense of direction? What is my purpose? And it made me realize, did I really let go of the hurt and trauma that was allowed? And I never forget my mom, for years, she didn't want to admit it when she knew the truth. And I want to say it took for me to go to prison and come home and just pour my heart out to her and just beg her to just help me understand why. And the answer that she could give me was that she didn't want to believe that the person that she married could do this to her children. And I'm just like, it hurts me. And it's like every day I see my mom, I can't even send my children over there without worrying about if he gonna touch them. I have to bring my children back and ask them, did he touch you? Did anybody touch you? And I don't want to live in this constant torment.
Listen, sister, let's back up real quick, right? Because, and I'm sorry for what you've gone through, but it's like this. Until you handle that, you'll always be in that same arrested development we talked about. We've all, let me tell you, living under the curse, we all have gone through some level of trauma. And it's not to minimize what you're going through, but you're gonna have to face it, not in a derogatory way, but you're gonna have to talk to your mother in a forgiving way so that she can release you from this, so that she can say, "I'm sorry." But let me make it clear: you will be at a greater fault knowing what this man did and never confronted him, to only allow your children to become a prey to the same person before the issues were worked out. Now,
and not to cut you off, brother, that's the thing.
No, listen to what I'm saying.
Me and him, we
sister,
talked about it, and
sister,
we
listen.
made amends.
Sister, listen.
And he apologized.
Sister, listen to
but
me. Listen
he doesn't
to me.
walk in the light. He's still in the world. And, you know.
Sister, listen to me. Okay?
I'm sorry.
I know you're rolling with your feeling, and it's warranted. But here's the reality of the matter. I can forgive someone and not put temptation in front of them. So I can forgive him. I'm glad. Thank you. But that man will never be around my children for no reason, even after I forgive them, because obviously that's a temptation for him. So that don't mean you have to put your children in harm's way because he said, "I apologize."
Right.
Temptation is real, and if he did this to you and your brothers, and something happens, he'll apologize to get to those children if the predator spirit is still on him. Now, I'm not here to judge him. Maybe he's over it. Maybe he's, but the whole thing is, after what you told me, the traumatization that your whole family been going through that led you to jail, your brother into all types of debauchery and sin. So you can forgive, sister, but no. Hey, my children are what? Off limits.
Yes.
Not even the possibility of that happening.
Have my mom.
So listen.
Will my mom just have to come over and see him?
No. It's like this. If you want the children to see them together, you don't have to deprive them. You must be in their presence. You must be what your mother wasn't to you.
Right.
So now you're not depriving them of the children, but you're protecting the children at the same time. Right?
Right. And another question, brother.
And again, I'm sorry for what happened. I'm sorry what happened to you. It wasn't your fault. But I'll give you the last word because I got a few more.
But you know what, brother? It didn't break me. It made me stronger. When I heard her speak, it kind of made me realize I haven't gotten over it.
I understand.
It's still there.
I understand that.
And I want to be baptized. I want to put my children. We're here in Ocala. We bounced around for a little while, and God blessed us to come here and be in Ocala and meet great people. But it's like we're foreign here. Everybody here, we talk about the Bible. Even at my job, it's a big argument. So I don't even discuss God in my Bible because none of my coworkers believe in the Bible. They believe in science and all this other stuff. So it's hard. So I say, do I just walk around with my mouth closed, or what do I do to operate in this area where there's little to none belief?
The way you do it is you wise as serpents, harmless as a dove. When you're at work, it's time for work. You let the preachers preach. Okay? So guess what? The best thing you can do is, I'll tell you what, write down A Gathering 144 YouTube page and give it to them.
Yes, sir.
I've had many phone calls with people coming to the truth just like that. Listen, keep your job and understand that if there's something on you that really is pressing to get the word out, lead it to people who can do it. Leave it to people who can do it, right? And that's your help. That'll be your ministry, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't forget, my first thing I did inside this truth was gave out flyers. Right. And I was the best flyer giver outer on earth. Okay? So it's I did it with the passion of like I teach right now. Okay, so
yes, sir.
And it was all good. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right, bless you. And where are you? Where
bless
are you
you,
again?
brother. Thank you.
What area you're in?
I'm in Ocala, Florida. I'm about 2 hours away from Jacksonville. I'm here in Gainesville area.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a number to Elder Nathanazar in Florida, and he's gonna call you.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Right.
Shalom.
Hold on. Your name Ashley?
Yes, sir, Ashley.
All right, thank you, sister. He will call you,
I
all
was
right?
trying to get my Hebrew name, but my mama said I got to pray for it. I've been trying to get my Hebrew name.
Well, we'll work it out. And tell your mother I
Yes,
said hello.
sir.
And this is no, I'm not attacking her or anything like that, but it's upon you to
Oh,
protect
yes,
your
sir.
children now. Yeah. All right. Shalom.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Shalom.
Man, it's good that our people can actually talk about these things now. All right, Sunshine, I'm about to bring you in right after this one. 918 area code. You had your hand raised for a long time. The Gathered of Christ Church. We went overtime. I don't know why I always do this. I got to get up early in the morning, but y'all my people. 918 area code. Talk to me. All right, hands raised. Guess you dozed off. All right, Sunshine, we can only do 1 minute. I'm sorry. I got a lot to prepare for tomorrow, so I need you to take your copious notes, put a line halfway through it, and start at that point. Ready?
Muted.
Yes.
Unmuted.
Okay. All right.
Halfway through now, 1 minute.
Okay, so the sophistication is in levels of destruction. The whole web is spun, thick and twisted, and their hope is to get us in whichever crack or corner that they push us into, and they can use whatever so-called reliefs and rescues in the media in pretense, but they're willfully willing to snatch the bag and put the reliefs or even bailouts in the hands of immigrants and financial institutions. The whole construct is to create a pigeonhole so that the poor would find it difficult, specifically the farmers, the women, just all of us, to claw our way out for bread. And the men and women of Judah especially are oppressed, and destroyed more than others. So it's a reverse spike against the southern kingdom. And it's to keep Judah close and trodden down. And this is evident. And even to pit the southern kingdom against the northern kingdom by offering temporary favors to the north brothers and sisters is yet another way to keep Israel divided, so that the nation divided against itself cannot stand, as Christ said. So what they're creating is slopes that will create sickness and press us to make brick without straw, like you were saying, and starve us out and return us into bondage. And all this reveals what they have attempted to hide for years, that we are the children of Israel who, are put in this place by the conspirators in Psalms 83, warred against all the time, and in spiritually Egypt and Sodom. And, all this oppression actually shows that their weaknesses are right there to the forefront, and there's only one truth, which is Christ, and no prophecy of the Bible will ever fail. And all this wickedness magnified, there's only one wonderful light that's shining all the way through as Babylon is falling, and the whole world, lopsided, driven by money-driven junkies, are failing miserably, and as they devise evil upon their beds, they're going to turn it onto their own heads and coals upon their heads. And so we know that with every oppression, that their attempts against Israel through Satan draw us nearer to our one true God, Ahaya, and through Christ we are free.
Oh,
so
we're free. Come Yeshua. We're free. Oh, there it is. All right, there it is. With a nice. Sunshine, always bring the sunshine. That's the way you end this thing. Well, thank you, Sunshine. Thank you, Elder Rawchaa. Thank you, Rawchaa. I really appreciate you, my brother.
Yes, sir. Bless you, my brother. Bless you, my brother.
And the Lion. I appreciate all you've done, and I'm looking forward to see where this goes.
Amen. Brother, love you guys.
I love you too, my brother. And we're gonna end it with, I already put it in the chat. The song "Warning to the Stars." Let's get it. You have a good night. The Most High is going to bring Edom's kingdom down. Warning to the stars.
Yo, I've been living at the bottom with my hand on your heel. When I want strong enough to put my hand on
Thank
your
you for
heel.
using
And
Blog
nobody
Talk
knows
Radio.
me better than my nostrils. So when I say something, boy,
Good night, young man. Good night, Elder Lawya.
Good night. While you was drunk off of alcohol, partying like a star. That money to be scared, cause he saw me with a star. Standing tall, time to cut you down. Sorry, I'm in charge. You messing with the line rat. This ain't no scaredy cat. Trying to catch me unexpected, baby. I'm expecting that. Bet you that you don't wanna come down to my level. I'ma humble you. One you won't walk around with a shovel. You don't regard the poor, probably why they wanna jack you. They tired of bird feet. Scraps probably gonna crack around the earth for a work. You would think that this food fine. Like you're traveling in space to go and still a moonshine. But I'ma bring you down.
Shining for a while, living above the clouds. But I'ma break it down, ain't gonna stop till you're on the ground. Rolling with a lot of pride, trying to live in the sky. But I'ma break it down, ain't gonna stop till you're on the ground.
Rich folks got me walking like a madman. Never really wanna see your brother stand up. I'm posted up like a lampstand. I bring them down like a champ, man. By they pride, I see in they eyes that I'm the last man. I bring them down like the two twin towers. Run up on and introduce you to my two twin powers. Walking through the valley of the shadow of death. Worst enemies, my enemies, so I be mad at myself. Y'all made me this way. Today is this day that nobody gon' stop me. Y'all disable this fate. The queen of Babylon don't wanna play with this. Hey, King Kong, ready for war. You ain't gon' make an escape. Equip banana clip lasers, haters, but just wait. I get revenge at the end, so you making a mistake. Strap tails, prepared and heavy, ready for that day. Checkmate anybody that wanna step in my way, cuz.
Shining for a while, living above the clouds. But I'ma break it down, ain't gonna stop till you're on the ground. Rolling with a lot of pride, trying to live in the sky. But I'ma break it down, ain't gonna stop till you're on the ground.
Hey, yo, I'm on a mission, grab your shoes and run with me. Yeah. The cops on my tail, but I'm moving real swiftly. It's like they got rabies on them veins, make it itchy. But I ain't gonna stop till them suckers come and get me. I'm taking down the stars, all the stars in the industry. They try to take me once, but them suckers couldn't get with me. They took my brother through, but they said it didn't matter, be they lied on me. All the ish they said was blasphemy. So bow down your head and get ready for a tragedy. I'm coming for your heart, death won't come dramatic. Yeah. I'm finna swing my blade like Slice Game, it's ecstatic. See you guys when I get there, you lambs gon' flee. So listen to the flow that I'm kicking in the air. And that's just part of my cross, I got a bed. Cause up from the streets, my pops on a higher level. They know for melting cats and playing with heavy metal.
You shining for a while, living above the clouds. But I'ma break it down, ain't gonna stop till you're on the ground. Rolling with a lot of pride, trying to live in the sky. But I'ma break it down, ain't gonna stop till you're on the ground.